against the powerful people and powerful corporations. I will never stop fighting that good fight.
No, he knows he's screwed and his back is up against the wall, because then it got worse. So after the New York charges on extortion came down, about an hour later, a 200-page indictment was released. He apparently got a $1.6 million settlement for one of his clients, Dan, but instead of giving the money to his client, he used the money for personal business and to pay off his own debt. Here's the U.S. attorney.
The client asked Mr. Avenatti where his settlement money was. Mr. Avenatti never told him the money had arrived. And to add insult to injury, between April and November of 2018, Mr. Avenatti, quote unquote, advanced $130,000 to his client so the client could meet his own financial obligations. Well, he waited for the supposedly late settlement money to arrive. In essence, it appears Mr. Avenatti loaned the client's own money to the client, money that Mr. Avenatti had already secretly collected. To this day, nearly 15 months later, Mr. Avenatti's client is still waiting for the bulk of his settlement, even after he hired another attorney who discovered that Mr. Avenatti had the funds all along.
And that attorney contacted the FBI, Department of Justice, said, look what this guy is doing. He is a scumbag. And he could face
this
up
just
to
in, Michael Avenatti's a scumbag.
Sorry. I know you've been saying all along he's a scumbag, but it's really, he could spend 50 years in jail, which would be wonderful.
All right, so he's this crime spree is all over the country. Also bank fraud, allegedly defrauded a bank in Mississippi.
Oh my gosh!
Took 3 loans totaling $4.1 million for his law firm and coffee business, which went belly up. The coffee business did. The law firm will soon. He submitted fake tax returns. He submitted tax returns indicating that. He earned $4.5 million in 2011, $5.4 million in 12, $4 million in 2013. He also claimed he paid $1.6 million in estimated tax payments to the IRS in 2012, paid $1.25 in 2013. In reality, Avenatti never filed tax returns in 2011, 2012, 2013. He did not make any estimated payments at all, much less in the 7-figure range that he said. Instead, of the millions of dollars he claimed to have paid in taxes, he owes the IRS $850,000 in unpaid personal income taxes plus interest. He also submitted fictitious partnership tax return for his law firm. That is also a good example of tax fraud and a good way to go to prison.
And think, guys, last year he flirted with running for president.
Oh, no.
Remember that? He was going to do it, and then he came forward and said, my family has asked me not to do it. He was so valiant in his delivery. Like, this is really, I'm sorry, country, I'm going to let you down, but I'm not going to be running.
This is another great example of the D.C. press corps. From The Week, theweek.com. Don't underestimate Michael Avenatti 2020. Matthew Walther. One more potential name is Michael Avenatti, the tough-talking lawyer who represented the porn star, first-time author. That's a generous description. Stormy Daniels in her lawsuit against Trump. Like many pairs of enemies, Trump and Avenatti have a great deal in common. Both are brash, over the top, publicity mad, media savvy, and ostentatiously rich.
No, he's in debt.
At the end of the day, both men are masters of communication, especially in the increasingly relevant-seeming medium of television. Any Democrat who is serious about winning the next presidential election would do well to pay attention to Avenatti. I, for one, refuse to count Avenatti out. Avenatti would be a foe worthy of Trump. If anybody has this Michael Walther other than theweek.com on staff, they should be embarrassed. But I understand, like Michael Avenatti, the D.C. press corps is not capable of embarrassment. By the way.
Well, he's going to lose his law license, right? At the very least, before he goes to prison, I hope.
Yeah, I think so. Stormy Daniels on Michael Avenatti. Knowing what I know now about Michael, I'm saddened but not shocked regarding his arrest. Boy, I'll tell you what, when you lose Stormy Daniels, you are really a man without a country. When Stormy Daniels finds your ethics substandard, that's really sad. And I mean, and Stormy Daniels is not unused to piling on, but I mean, wow.
She was in Springfield, by the way, on Friday, protesting the poll tax. Did you know that? She was down in front of the Lincoln statue.
Is that P-O-L-L or P-O-L-E?
She doesn't like that strippers have to pay more, Dan, when they dance on a pole, okay? So she's a real go-getter. Now she's fighting Illinois taxes just like all the rest of us are. In a different way.
She's a tax watchdog. There's no question about that. Tom in Deer Park, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, we're all laughing and chuckling, but it's another really indicting statement on our culture, where this attorney has his client, and he manages to get on both CNN and CNBC. I think I read over 300
MSNBC.
Times.
Oh, yeah.
The Today
MSNBC.
Show, GMA. I mean, he was all over the
Oh,
place.
sure.
CBS Morning Show. He was Nightly News.
Remember,
he was a star. He's a rock star.
Remember this fun exchange on The View with one Joy Behar.
Ooh.
All of my sexual fantasies involve handcuffs.
Oh, isn't he darling?
Oh, my, that's gross.
Yeah,
Couldn't you just eat him up, Tom?
Yeah, and he's seriously being taken as presidential candidate. And my cultural statement is, I know what Stormy does for a living. I'd never heard of her until the Trump stuff. It's pretty evident what she does for a living. But I'm not being facetious or sarcastic. I have more respect for what she does in her industry than what Michael Avenatti and what the cable networks have allowed him to become. That's my take.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Thanks,
held him
Tom.
as a hero. Look at this. He's going to help bring down President Trump. He arranged the hush money payment with Stormy Daniels.
Sure. As a modern-day Elliot Ness, that guy.
I mean, the president was already having a very good day, but then he heard that his chief antagonist was arrested.
Having a difficult time
Beautiful.
getting the smile off Trump's face the last few days. Greg in Schaumburg, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Dan, I know you guys in law school are a bunch of meek little lambs, but do they give you psychological tests at all in order to just ferret you out?
Yeah, you know what? It's a great point. I think instead of the LSAT, it should be the Wonderlic test. I agree
Exactly.
with you. Yeah, thanks,
Can
Greg.
you be a quarterback?
Bert in Lake Zurich has the rest of the story.
Hey, guys, good to talk to you. Hey, don't forget, Garagos is also tied into, I think it's Mark Garagos, right? That was the attorney for Colin Kaepernick. And the other thing was absolutely amazing, even though I'm not a big Twitter follower. I looked at Avenatti's page, and guess who the top two people that he was promoting that other people should follow? He had not only Kamala Harris, but he also had James Comey on his Twitter page. It's just absolutely amazing how all of these people are overlapped and living off of one another. Thank you for the call.
Well,
Thanks,
CNN dropped Mark Garagos as a commentator yesterday. Just in case you're wondering. And Mark Garagos, he's supposed to be representing Jussie Smollett. He also represented Michael Jackson, Chris Brown, Scott Peterson. So,
Sure. It's quite a hit list,
Right.
literally. I
so
tell you,
he was named in the indictment but not charged.
again, this is only alleged, so all I see is Avenatti pushing off his political career or his career as an MSNBC host with the tax evasion charges. He'll fit right in over there. But Kamala Harris, following Kamala Harris, maybe he'll be still considered for a running mate once he beats these ridiculous charges.
Yes.
Garagos, too. So he's the other, just to be specific, he's a lawyer named but not indicted as the partner that Avenatti was going to use
to shake down Nike.
Well, not to shake down Nike, otherwise he would have been arrested, but to do that internal review that he wanted up to $25 million for. Garagos was the other guy.
And he was going to have that press conference like, I'll cancel it if you give me this deal.
If $1.5 million to my client who has the alleged damaging information, and then the $15 to $25 million deal for me and Garagos. That's what he wanted. It's remarkable, but the Garagos thing is interesting too because, trial lawyers of a feather. Dan and Amy coming to you live from Tej Hanley in, East Ukrainian Village in the city, part of our AM 560 Signature Bank business tour.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. If you need windows, call the exterior experts.
Call Crumweedy.
Mark Olson and Greg Olson of Crumweedy. Well, they run a third-generation family business that's been doing Chicagoland exteriors now since 1953. And for them, it's all about trust, and they truly share your values. Why windows from Crumweedy. Now, Crumweedy windows are not offered anywhere else in Chicagoland. They are exclusive, and that's why they can offer a lifetime material and labor installation guarantee. A lifetime. That's a great investment for your home. Windows from Crumweedy are Energy Star rated, unlike most other windows. Also, the vinyl windows are 100% virgin vinyl. You're getting quality windows with a lifetime material and labor installation. Now, if your windows are needy,
call Crumweedy.
630-595-8020. The name is not easy to spell. Just remember this. WindowsAreNeedy.com. WindowsAreNeedy.com.
I'm going to tell you about a great new movie that's coming out in theaters in a couple of weeks. It's called Best of Enemies, and it stars Academy Award winner Sam Rockwell and Academy Award nominee Taraji P. Henson. The movie tells the true story of the relationship between Ann Atwater and C.P. Ellis in East Durham, North Carolina in 1971. At that time, the schools in East Durham were still segregated. And when a fire burned down a black neighborhood school, the city council refused to allow black students to attend a local white school. The issue divided the community and put Atwater, an African-American single mom, and Ellis, an exalted cyclops of the KKK, into the unlikely situation of having to resolve this hotly contested issue for their community. It's a powerful story of community, identity, and the search for common ground against incredible odds. Best of Enemies is going to be out in theaters on Friday, April 5th, and we here at AM 560 hosting a free movie screening on Wednesday, April 3rd in Schaumburg. Learn more about the free movie screening in Schaumburg at 560theanswer.com, and you can go there to sign up to get your free tickets to that screening.
I bet you're looking forward to spring when the weather gets warmer and all the outdoor blah of winter turns to green. It's something we all look forward to in these first months of the new year. With the change of season also comes landscape maintenance. It's just one of those things that's got to be done. And it's got to be done right. Taking care of your properties is important. That's why you should choose AM Woodland Outdoor Design. AM Woodland Outdoor Design makes the outdoors come alive at your commercial, apartment building, or homeowners association. Spring will be here sooner than you think, and the expert team at AM Woodland Outdoor Design keep your properties looking their best all year long with a convenient maintenance contract. It's quality service with integrity and reliability every time. Contact them now and get your maintenance contract locked in for the new year.
AM Woodland Outdoor Design, proudly serving Lake, Northern Cook, and Kenosha counties, helping make the communities they grew up in as beautiful as they can be. Visit amwoodland.com, that's amwoodland.com, or call 847-224-2167.
It's Amy Jacobson, and I'm so excited to tell you about a deal on the already modestly priced MyPillow Giza Dream Bed Sheets. They use the world's best cotton called Giza. It's only grown in the region between the Sahara Desert, Mediterranean, and Nile River. It's ultra soft, breathable, and extremely durable. I know, because I have a few sets. It includes full 21-inch wide pillowcases that fit any pillow and deep pocket sheets that fit any mattress. And once you sleep on them, you won't want to sleep on anything else. They are the real deal that look good and feel great, which means a better night's sleep. And you can still get the MyPillow 4-pack offer plus 30% off pet beds and mattress toppers. To get the Giza Dream Bed Sheets with 30% off and free shipping, go to MyPillow.com and use the promo code Amy. Or call 800-489-0201. That's 800-489-0201. Or MyPillow.com, promo code Amy.
In today's turbulent times, professionals from a variety of industries are faced with concerns regarding workplace violence and the harm it can cause to its employees. Workplace violence can manifest in any setting and oftentimes might come without warning. The team at P4 Security Solutions can assist your organization in mitigating risks to prevent you and your employees from becoming a victim.
Hi, I'm Lawrence Doria, President and CEO of P4 Security Solutions. As a lifelong Chicagoan and security expert with over 40 years in the industry, I take pride in providing our clients a variety of security offerings to address your risks and concerns. Our security services deliver customized offerings to address threats while maintaining continuity. P4 Security Solutions, your trusted advisor for uncertain times.
Contact P4 Security Solutions when you require active shooter training, workplace violence programs, off-duty police services, security assessments, personal protection, or any other of our security solutions. Visit our website at p4secure.com or call us at 312-502-1702 for immediate response.
Hey, CubeMates. Anyone else looking forward to that exciting quarterly meeting today?
Sure. Another company lunch with bland sandwiches and a side of boring whatever. Can't wait.
Are you guys kidding? Obviously, you haven't heard. We're having tasty catering today. Look out. I'm going to go grab my seat.
Get more out of your meetings and company events. It's time to get tasty. Tasty Catering's brand new corporate catering menu has the spice and flavor your team will love. Dine on menu items like a roasted vegetable hummus sandwich, honey sriracha pork chops, and all of their brand new chef creations. Powering productive meetings day or night, Tasty Catering professionals help you plan the perfect chef-crafted menu. Their leading chefs cook up your catering, then the Tasty Catering ambassadors deliver and set up for your event. When your team is finished experiencing their delicious meal, they come back to break it down and clean it all up. Simple and delicious. Visit tastycatering.com to get started today and find their brand new corporate menu along with comments from other Tasty Catering clients. tastycatering.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, we're coming to you live from Tiege Hanley Products in East Ukrainian Village in the city. Part of our AM 560 Signature Bank Business Tour, and this is just terrible news, but it's incumbent to report it because it's a story that everybody's followed for more than a year, in some cases for more than 6 years. These suicides, 2 Parkland High School students have apparently killed themselves in the last week, 2 survivors. A 19-year-old named Sydney Aiello, whose 2 best friends were Meadow Pollock. We've talked to Meadow's father, Andrew. And Joaquin Oliver. They were killed, Meadow Pollock and Joaquin Oliver, last February when the school shooter inflicted that carnage. Sydney Aiello committed suicide last week out of survivor's guilt, reportedly. And then on Saturday, another student from Parkland died of an apparent suicide. That a male student, a sophomore, his name not disclosed at this point, as far as I know.
And now they interviewed kids from Parkland yesterday who said now they're afraid that this is just going to open the floodgates, that people are going to be starting, to commit suicide.
Well, in addition to that, Jeremy Richmond, 49 years old, of Newtown, Connecticut, found dead by an apparent suicide yesterday morning. He was the father of a first grader who was killed in the Sandy Hook massacre in 2012.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just
he was over the weekend, he was in Florida helping Parkland students, and then 2 days later, he shot himself in his office.
Yeah, well, trauma is a funny thing. And you have people talking about how he was brokenhearted. He sort of never recovered from the death of his first grade daughter, which is understandable.
I don't blame him.
Maybe a little bit more time and focus and media attention to the trauma, particularly the survivor's guilt issue, and a little less time with cheap politics, cheap partisan politics around these horrific massacres. Maybe these terrible events of the last week will refocus attention where it better belongs.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
All right, we're going to turn to Mueller Madness this March and help you fill out your brackets as provided by the New York Post. That's at 6:06.
And later, the man with a perfect bracket and a woman wins the high school slam dunk contest. But first, let's get into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
CPD superintendent says an alleged cop killer shot the first Hispanic that he saw. Boy shot and killed in Harvey. WIND Chicago News Time is 6 o'clock.
President Trump gets more money to put up more barriers at the border. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, and it's coming from the Pentagon after his national emergency declaration that Congress tried to block, but it's expected the House will fall short of the votes needed today to override his veto. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, it would be 18 feet tall and 57 miles long, $1 billion worth of new border fencing along the Yuma and El Paso sectors. Acting Defense Secretary Patrick Shanahan has authorized the commander of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to begin planning and executing the project. The money would also be used to build and improve roads and install new lighting. This would be the first transfer of money under the president's national emergency declaration, which is being challenged in court. Dave.
Rachel, Democrats are demanding Attorney General Barr release the full Mueller report by next Tuesday. He'll testify at the House in 2 weeks.
The Justice Department has declined even to say how many pages the report includes, as if that were some sort of state secret.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer. Barr's summary shows the special counsel concluded the Trump campaign did not conspire or coordinate with Russia.
He did not make a conclusion on obstruction of justice, but the Attorney General says there's not sufficient evidence. The president says,
we can never let this happen to another president again. I can tell you that. I say it very strongly.
The Justice Department is siding with the states in a federal appeals court filing trying to void Obamacare.
A U.S. District Court judge ruled in December that the law's individual mandate is unconstitutional. Thus, the whole law is invalid.
Fox's Sean Langell.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi immediately responding. She says, quote, the Trump administration decided not only to try to destroy protections for Americans living with pre-existing conditions, but to declare all-out war on the health care of the American people.
In the Middle East, Israeli aircraft bombed targets in Gaza as Palestinian militants fired rockets into Israel, where some schools are closed and some people spend the night in bomb shelters. This is Fox News.
Skies are clear, 25 degrees at 6:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Chicago Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson says the murder of Officer John Rivera could be treated as a hate crime. The alleged gunman, Menelik Jackson, had reportedly been in a fight with a group of Hispanic men on a party bus. And Police Superintendent Johnson said yesterday that he sought revenge by shooting the first Hispanic man who he came in contact with. A 10-year-old boy who was shot in the south suburbs of Harvey over the weekend has died. Ezra Hill was shot twice Saturday afternoon. He lived in DeKalb, was pronounced dead at brain dead at Christ Medical Center in Oak Lawn yesterday afternoon. A man is under arrest for a fatal stabbing in Joliet. Robert Watson of Chicago is being held on murder charges connected to the stabbing of Emmanuel Bergrino of Hales Corners, Wisconsin. The Cook County jury orders Chicago's St. Joseph Hospital to pay more than $23 million to a girl who suffered brain damage at birth. Amira Witten was born December of 2014. The jury returned the verdict on Friday. Attorneys said doctors waited 3 hours to perform a C-section that testing showed was needed immediately. Survivors of sexual assault in Illinois will soon be able to monitor online the progress of DNA evidence related to their case. Illinois State Police Director Brendan Kelly announcing the Division of Forensic Services will implement an online sexual tracking system by year end. Blackhawks look to make it 2 in a row when they travel to the desert to play the Coyotes tonight in a playoff critical matchup. Bulls head north to take on Toronto. White Sox beat the Diamondbacks 6-3. Cubs over the Red Sox 3-2 as spring training begins to wind down. The News is a service of Ashley Home Store. Ashley Home Store's anniversary sale is in its final week. It's your last chance to save up to 30% or get no interest for 6 years. Come in today and celebrate together with style with Ashley Home Store. This is home. See store for details. 6:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity always gives you the truth.
The witch hunt we've been through now for almost 3 years that began in July of 2016. That's when it started. And remember, we learned through Paige and Strzok's testimony last week that after 9 months investigating this, before the appointment of Mueller, they found no evidence of Trump-Russia collusion, not even a single bit of it.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
Even in my own home, I had my own designated space to smoke. If I think about it, it really was like I was punishing myself. A friend of mine said, why wouldn't you just try the Juul? And so I went out and I bought one. The idea of going back to smoking, I couldn't even imagine doing that. I don't think anyone, including myself, thought that I could switch.
Carolyn made the switch October 2016. Make the switch at JUUL.com. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Guardians of the Grass, run with us on a John Deere X300 Select Series lawn tractor built for versatility. Because when you take pride in your lawn, you do it all. You mulch, bag, haul, grow, mow, and a whole lot more. And that's why the X300 Series takes care of everything with attachments for all your spring and summer projects. Because you're not just doing yard work, you're creating common ground for the whole neighborhood to enjoy. Nothing runs like a Deere. Run with us. Search John Deere X300 for more.
Jim was a 48-year-old husband, father, and business owner. He understood the importance of life insurance to protect his family and business. Jim knew what happened with no life insurance. His own father died, leaving a wife and children with no financial resources. Jim vowed to have enough coverage. He purchased a life insurance policy from NCSF. When Jim lost his life in a tragic car accident, his family grieved. But Jim had planned, and his family and business were financially secure because of life insurance through NCSF. NCSF is a not-for-profit company that provides life insurance and member benefits that commercial carriers do not. Jim was secure in knowing he would provide his family with financial security. He also chose NCSF because of their commitment to give back to communities through philanthropic work. For Jim, NCSF membership was a great fit. Protecting your life matters to NCSF, and it should matter to you. Life insurance can make the road ahead easier for those you leave behind. Visit ncsf.com to learn about their life and annuity products and member benefits. Visit ncsf.com today.
Payroll, bookkeeping, month end. Are you feeling short-staffed? Accountemps can provide accounting and finance professionals on a temporary or project basis when you need them to help with increased workloads. Call them today or visit accountemps.com. Accountemps, a Robert Half company.
6:07. Let's get an update on the roads now in the AM 560 Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
In Lyons, Harlem Avenue is closed southbound 41st to 42nd due to a rollover crash. We're seeing delays on the inbound Kennedy Expressway, Canfield to Nagel, and Foster to Lawrence. It's 23 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. Up on 22, a little congestion on westbound 190. The Edens is okay for now. Inbound Eisenhower. Delays are from First Avenue to Harlem and Beeman to the Burns Circle. 33 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 29. Inbound Stevenson delays start before Harlem. 40 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan is 21 minutes, 95 to downtown. I-57's okay. Bishop Ford got about a 5-minute delay from 103rd to the merge. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center and our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
Today, mostly sunny, chilly, and a high near 44. It'll be clear tonight, low down to 30. Partly sunny, breezy tomorrow, high 55. Thursday, clouds and a shower. The daytime high Thursday, 60. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
25 at O'Hare, 33 along the lakefront. Your next news update is at 6:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, best beans, best roast, best coffee.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Coming to you live from Tej Hanley in Ukrainian Village, part of our AM 560 Signature Bank Business Tour. Tej Hanley makes skincare products, Amy.
Hey.
And I'm, finally been recognized as supermodel material.
Yeah, I heard you're on their website or something, or a YouTube channel.
Oh,
is this the before and after?
When you have, the
glowing
complexion of a Roman god, as I do, you're going to be in demand. And so we'll talk a little bit about the Tej Hanley skincare systems later in the show.
So proud of you.
Thank you very much.
You're going to be a face model.
Finally. Finally, after these many years toiling in obscurity. It's fun. It's fun to get to go to all the parties.
Right, that's right.
Yeah,
Red
now
carpet.
that I'm an A-lister.
Yeah.
It's great. All right, so got to help you fill out your brackets, the Mueller Madness brackets, not the March Madness brackets. This is great. The New York Post has put together 4 regions, or, brackets.
I'm looking over your shoulder, by the way.
There it is, right there. Who was the worst throughout the last 2 years of the Mueller investigation?
So the winner's the worst person.
The worst
not the
person, or pundit, or Twitterati, or network, or print. Cable, print, network, Twitterati. And so you have matchups like Rachel Maddow versus Anna Navarro in round 1.
By the way, Rachel Maddow had to cut her vacation short because of the Mueller report. She was trout fishing outside of Nashville, Tennessee, and she came in and she let everybody know that I'm reporting from Nashville here, and she looked very visibly upset, by the way.
Did she still have the waders on?
She did not.
Uh-huh.
But she didn't catch a fish because she was interrupted.
Rachel Maddow versus Anna Navarro.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Yeah,
Who's got the higher seat on that?
Those MSNBC hosts versus the CNN contributors.
Ooh.
That's like a 5-12. That could be an upset. Because Anna Navarro did say it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, and it's beginning to look a lot like collusion.
Oh man, did you ever hear it's the Mueller Christmas, not a Merry Christmas?
John Oliver versus Donnie Deutsch. Boy, that is a.
These are really tough calls, Dan.
Those are two D-bag titans, right there. I mean, that is Morning Joe versus John Brennan, Scarborough versus Brennan.
This isn't fair. Who else?
Don Lemon versus the Rachel Maddow lookalike Chris Hayes.
I think I'm going to go with Don Lemon.
Bill Kristol versus Natasha Bertrand from The Atlantic. You really got to dig deep to know a Natasha Bertrand, which I do.
Yeah, I'm familiar with her.
Ryan Lizza, the Scaramucci whisperer.
Oh, that's right.
From Esquire. Jonathan Chait, New York Magazine. Oof.
Another close one, Dad.
I mean, there's that. Now that's in cable and print. I mean, go to network. That's where it really gets tough. Avenatti versus Behar.
Oh, definitely. Well, I mean, is he kicked out now, though, that he's extortion charges and bank and wire fraud charges?
He's still in the tournament.
I'm going for Joy.
How about Brian Ross versus Alec Baldwin?
Oh, going with Alec Baldwin. Because Brian Ross is who? I mean, he's done. You haven't seen him or heard from him in a long time.
And then you have some crossover artists. These are stars of the stage and screen, but they're really making their mark in the Mueller Madness space on Twitter. So, for example, this is an unconventional matchup.
Okay.
Larry Tribe,
yeah,
the constitutional law professor at Harvard, versus Bobby De Niro.
Ooh.
Huh? Lawrence Tribe, you can take collusion and obstruction claims to the bank. That is the vaunted Larry Tribe, Lawrence Tribe to some. Con law professor at Harvard. Wow. And then, of course, De Niro acting out his fantasies on SNL. His Mueller fantasies on SNL.
Yeah, as being Robert Mueller.
I'll tweet this out, but you got to check it out. It's really fun. And actually, you vote for your winnow and you send it to madness@nypost.com. So they're actually doing a contest.
Well, what about who's Kathy Griffin, Oak Park's finest there?
She's up against, it's another unconventional matchup, Kathy Griffin versus Richard Painter, who's a law professor at University of Minnesota.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to go with Kathy.
Well, I mean, she does have the killer instinct. You saw the severed head.
Yeah. So you'll tweet that out, and then I could fill out the brackets.
Yeah, we want to fill that out. Maybe if I can't win the March Madness brackets, maybe I can win the Mueller Madness ones. This is a perfect setup to Glenn Greenwald. Now, Glenn Greenwald is not a Trump fan.
No.
He's the founder of The Intercept. He's the Edward Snowden whisperer. Okay. He was on Democracy Now! Talking about the Mueller report opposite a Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist from the New York Times, the great lady, David Katie Johnston, and talking about this. I just want to start with what Greenwald thinks about Trump, lest you think that he's in the tank for Trump. So just understand where Greenwald is coming from.
I believe that Donald Trump is one of the most corrupt people ever to occupy the White House. I'm certain that he's guilty of all kinds of crimes. War crimes as president, financial crimes as a business person. One of the reasons why those of us who are so angry about this obsession on Russia and collusion, aside from the fact that it was so dangerous to ratchet up tensions between two nuclear armed powers this way instead of trying to forge a peace between these two countries, is precisely because it took the oxygen away from all of the things that the Trump administration is doing that is so damaging in lieu of this idiotic, moronic, Tom Clancy-type espionage thriller where we were talking about Putin blackmailing Donald Trump with PP tapes, and Donald Trump being a Russian agent since 1987, which was a cover story that was on New York Magazine that Chris Hayes put on MSNBC. Just all kinds of moronic conspiracies that we love to mock other countries' medias for circulating and disseminating drowned out our airways and our discourse for 3 years, preventing us from focusing on the real substantive damage that the Trump administration is doing and that Donald Trump's corruption entails.
So, just so you understand, not an apologist for Donald Trump. And that's why I'm happy to cede my time in this specific space of the Mueller investigation and the takeaways from the report to Glenn Greenwald because of what he's saying on the merits of the press coverage. And what he's saying, of course, is accurate. And it's tough to hear, especially for his former friends at MSNBC.
It's time to face the truth. The media got this story wrong. They obsessed on this for 3 years, and all this time there was no evidence for it. It was just a conspiracy theory. Rachel Maddow, the most influential liberal TV host in the country, every single night misled millions of liberals into believing something that was totally false, and there will be no media consequences for it. And that is extremely grave and serious, no matter how much is true about how corrupt Donald Trump is in his financial dealings or any of the other stuff that people are now trying to deflect our attention onto.
How about that? To make sure your liberal friends hear that riff from Glenn Greenwald. Rachel Maddow purposely misled millions of people on a nightly basis for the last 3 years.
Well, their judgment was clouded by the fact that they so wanted President Trump out of office that they let the facts go by the wayside. The facts are paramount, especially if you're a journalist or in charge of a cable TV show. You know what I'm saying?
And Greenwald points out she is the most popular and thus the most influential.
That's why she came in from her fishing trip.
Leftist us. Well, boy, she's not being received very well. It's not much of a welcome home from Glenn Greenwald, but it's not inappropriate either. I mean, again, just to give you one of the many montages that are out there of the last 2 years of lowlights from the D.C. press corps.
Breaking news.
A bombshell.
Today is a turning point. Today was historically bad for President Trump.
Today was a turning point.
A turning point.
We're at a turning point here.
The beginning of the end for the Trump presidency.
We have another bombshell.
Mike Pence might have to assume the office of the presidency.
Rumblings of the word impeachment.
Breaking news.
Another bombshell out of the White House.
I believe this is the beginning of the end.
I do too.
It's really the beginning of the end.
He may be feeling the walls closing in on him.
All the walls closing in on him.
The walls closing in on him.
Breaking news, a new bombshell.
One astrologer says this means the beginning of the end for President Donald Trump.
Might as well. What's the difference?
Is this the tipping point? I know we've said it over and over.
You think this is a tipping point?
And over and over.
This is a tipping point.
And over and over.
Breaking news, President Trump off the rails.
It was the beginning of the end today.
The beginning of the end.
Breaking news tonight, new bombshell.
This is the beginning of the end.
The beginning of the end.
The walls are closing in.
The walls closing in.
The walls closing in.
Breaking overnight bombshell.
This is a very dramatic day, and I think it might be near a tipping point. Do you think this is a tipping point?
December 1st, 2017, you can mark it down. This is the day that everything changed.
The beginning of the end?
Beginning of the end.
The beginning of the end.
The beginning of the end.
The beginning of the
We begin tonight with the bombshell.
Donald Trump is in a lot of trouble.
Trump is in trouble.
The president will resign.
Another hour, another bombshell.
This is a tipping point.
Trump's going down.
This president could be impeached.
Resignation.
I mean, what your favorite? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Your favorite D.C. press corps metaphor is that the noose is tightening, the walls are closing in, or we are at a tipping point. Those are my top three.
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line, 64636, type in DA, then a quick comment. I like the astrologer.
I mean,
really, it's coming to an end.
What's the difference between the astrologer and former CIA Director John Brennan?
Really?
I mean, the
not
astrologer is less reckless with what the astrologer had to say. Because the astrologer wouldn't go so far as to, I don't know, ordain President Trump the Manchurian candidate, Sergeant Raymond Shaw, to for Vlad Putin. I mean, it is unbelievable the things that were said and continue to be said as they continue to double down. Eric Swalwell. He's a former prosecutor. Now he's a Democrat member of the House. He's also a candidate for president.
Yeah.
One of the many.
One of the 15 or 14 now.
Listen to Swalwell.
Okay.
You know, there's nothing that has changed in terms of what they are saying from the release of the Barr letter summarizing the Mueller report?
There is a difference, and Chairman Schiff and I were always clear that we have seen evidence of collusion. Now, what Mr. Mueller could prove beyond a reasonable doubt, it looks like there is certainly, a difference between the evidence we saw in plain sight and some of the evidence we saw in a classified space. But if the president truly believes he's exonerated, then he should be the first person to roll out and give to the public the full Mueller report. If he has nothing to hide, if there's nothing that concerns him at all, that report would have been made available yesterday.
That's absurd. And as an officer of the court, it's embarrassing. Talked about this last hour. He's a prosecutor.
He should know better.
He didn't take the time to read the 4 pages. He doesn't know Federal Rules of Criminal Procedure. In the letter that Barr released, he talks about grand jury proceedings, information about grand jury proceedings in the Mueller report that cannot be disclosed by law that he and his office are reviewing. President Trump's position from the outset has been, go ahead, release the Mueller report. I don't care. But for him to say, if he, this is more conspiracy theorizing. Since it hasn't been released already, he has got something to hide. If he didn't have anything to hide, it wouldn't be released. Read the Barr letter. The federal law, the governing federal laws here with respect to disclosure of some of the context of the Mueller, out the window because Eric Swalwell still wants to play politics. I mean, he continues to describe evidence of collusion, as Adam Schiff has done for the last 3 years, that they never present.
I stand by what I have said about seeing evidence of collusion, and if he has a problem with that, he can sue me, and I promise you I would win in court. As to counterintelligence mission that we have with the Intelligence Committee, we need to know if any U.S. person, whether it's on a campaign, a transition, or an administration, has been compromised or did seek to work with or did work with the Russians. And that's separate from a criminal investigation.
So now they're trying to distinguish between a criminal investigation and a counterintelligence investigation, despite the fact that, again, in the Barr letter, and he's not challenging the characterization of the Mueller report in the Barr letter, because, of course, if Barr was mischaracterizing the Mueller report, do you think that Mueller would sit silently by? Do you think Barr, who's known Bob Mueller for 30 years and they're friends, would mischaracterize the Mueller report? Of course not. Of course not. And very few people are suggesting as much, even amid all the other conspiracy theories. But Swalwell he didn't even read the letter. In the Barr letter, no Trump nor anyone associated with his campaign colluded with Russians. And I doubt...
it can't be spelled out any more plainly than that.
It's not just the high bar of beyond a reasonable doubt that you could take a case to court. It's also from a counterintelligence perspective. You think that Barr is parsing words in that area? I don't think so. Dan in Libertyville, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Thanks for taking my call. My favorite saying of the pundits is it's the beginning of the end. But what they didn't realize is they were saying it's the beginning of the end of their credibility. But it's been my experience just yesterday. I was speaking with a customer, and it really shocked me. This guy still believes there was Russian collusion. And when I asked him based on what facts, he said, well, my son worked in the White House. I said, so he told you there was some Russian collusion? He says, no. I said, okay, so what do you base this on? I can just feel it.
Yeah, feel it.
His spidey senses.
What do you say to that?
Feel your feelings. You can't argue with feelings, right, Dan? Thanks for the call. Dan and Amy coming to you live from T. Hanley, part of our AM 560 Signature Bank Business Tour.
Listen to podcast of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Message and data rates may apply. Individual results may vary. See website for details.
But hey, I'm buying a huge flat screen TV so I can finally see it without my glasses.
Why not just get LASIK at the LASIK Vision Institute? That's what I'm doing.
My glasses and contacts are a pain. I'd love to finally get rid of these, but who can afford LASIK?
You can.
Because the LASIK Vision Institute is offering dramatically low prices and an absolutely free consultation. Just text TRY to 350-350. The LASIK Vision Institute has already performed over 1 million procedures. They use the latest FDA-approved LASIK technology that helps the majority of patients achieve 20/20 vision for a fraction of what others charge. Better vision, better value. The LASIK Vision Institute. Make this the year you finally get LASIK. For a free consultation plus an extra 20% discount, text TRY to 350-350. You'll see for free if LASIK is right for you. That's TRY to 350-350.
Hey, interested in purchasing a new home? Then you need to call Team Hochberg, your trusted local lender, not your bank, not the internet, and definitely not your realtor's preferred lender. Oscar wanted to purchase the home he'd been renting from his father, but didn't have enough money for a down payment or closing costs. So he called Team Hochberg for advice. Team Hochberg secured Oscar a gift of equity for the down payment and closing cost credits from his father to purchase the home. The garage was dilapidated, so Team Hochberg secured Oscar an FHA $203K loan to build a new garage and make other much-needed renovations. If you'd like to purchase a home you're currently renting and need help structuring the financing, then call Team Hochberg, your trusted local lender who will always look out for your financial best interests. Call them now at 855-56-DAVID or visit 56david.com. Team Hochberg helped me and thousands of AM 560 listeners, but they can't help you if you don't call. 855-56-DAVID or visit 56david.com. Homeside Financial Equal Housing Lender. Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee, MB 6761019, NMLS 1124061.
Are you putting your retirement savings in a 401k, IRA, or investment account? Then I have one word of advice. Stop. Experts warn of a stock market crash any day now, and you could lose 50% or more of your hard-earned savings again. But you don't have to lose a penny. There's a better, safer way to save for retirement, and you can learn about it in a free report. This method continues to grow your money even when the market tumbles. To get this free report, go to bankonyourself.com. That's bankonyourself.com. Bankonyourself.com.
Hey, it's March, and there's not only March Madness, but madness in March with a great deal from Balance of Nature, but we'll get to that in just a second. As you know, it's allergy season, and during the allergy season, you need to boost your immune system, and that's why you should take Balance of Nature. It's 10 different servings of 30 fruits and veggies in a single capsule. There's no preservatives, no dyes, and really it will help you stay healthy during the spring. And don't wait until you start feeling sick to take Balance of Nature. Oh no, boost your immune system right now. Dr. Douglas Howard, founder and creator of Balance of Nature, he showed me the emails, played voicemails from real people who are taking Balance of Nature and feeling better and living healthier lives, and that can be you too. And today only, when you go to balanceofnature.com, use promo code AmyJ2, that's Amy J, the number 2, AMYJ, the number 2, all one word, and you will receive 10% off your first preferred order of Balance of Nature. Again, promo code AmyJ2, all one word, when you go to balanceofnature.com or call one of their operators who are standing by who will answer any of your questions, or coaches. They coach you through taking Balance of Nature. That number is 800-246-8751, 800-246-8751.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll take a little break from Mueller and Avenatti and all of Trump's other favorite enemies and bring it local. We got an election a week away. Big referendum in Hinsdale, big school referendum in New Trier. We'll talk a little bit about some of those local elections with the backdrop of our latest moving out property tax report, Dateline McHenry County. That's at 6:36.
And later today, the Senate will vote on that new Green Deal, and ACO is very upset. But first, let's get into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
25 degrees and mostly clear skies. This morning, the Justice Department sides with a federal judge who ruled the Affordable Care Act is unconstitutional. In December, District Court Judge Reed O'Connor ruled the individual mandate portion of the law, known as Obamacare, is unconstitutional, invalidating the entire law. President Trump says the Russia investigation ended exactly the way it should have.
It's lasted a long time. We're glad it's over. It's 100% the way it should have been. I wish it could have gone a lot sooner, a lot quicker.
The president speaking at the White House yesterday. This morning, Philadelphia's Department of Public Health is closing dental practices that may have spread hepatitis and HIV to patients. Officials say the 3 practices were shut down for improper sterilization of dental equipment. Bump stocks are illegal in the U.S. beginning today. The devices that allow semi-automatic weapons to fire like automatic weapons. October of 2017, a gunman using rifles adapted with bump stocks fired on a music festival in Las Vegas, killing nearly 60. Apple is going into the credit card business. Apple announcing it's partnering with MasterCard to allow people to sign up for the new Apple Card through their iPhones and get access to that card in minutes. Chicago Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson says the murder of Officer John Rivera could be treated as a hate crime. Authorities say the weekend shooting did not happen because Rivera was a policeman. It may have been between those groups of men who were fighting, Hispanic men, and that Manelik Jackson sought revenge by shooting the first Hispanic men who he came in contact with in River North. Chicago mayoral candidate Tony Preckwinkle was asked to address comments made by Congressman Bobby Rush at a weekend campaign rally in the latest debate in the mayoral race last night. Rush saying that opponent Lori Lightfoot's pro-police position will result in more black people being killed under her administration. Preckwinkle repeatedly said during last night's debate on Channel 9 that Rush simply speaks for himself. The Bears will celebrate the NFL's 100th season when they kick off the 2019 campaign with a Thursday night game against the Green Bay Packers at Soldier Field. The two teams have played each other 198 times since 1921. Chicago sports, the Blackhawks look to make it 2 wins in a row when they travel to the desert to take on the Coyotes tonight in a playoff-critical matchup. The Bulls head north tonight. They'll take on the Raptors in Toronto. White Sox over the Diamondbacks 6-3. Cubs top the Red Sox at Sloan Park 3-2. The news, a service of Accountemps. Payroll, bookkeeping, and month end. Are you feeling short-staffed? Accountemps can provide accounting and finance professionals on a temporary or project basis when you need them to help with increased workloads. Call them today or visit accountemps.com. Accountemps, a Robert Half company. 6:33 is our time, and we'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
On April 5th, don't miss The Best of Enemies, starring Academy Award nominee Taraji P. Henson.
I play Ann Atwater, a civil rights activist who was able to approach hate with love.
And Academy Award winner Sam Rockwell.
All the better if you don't get in my way.
Well, I'm gonna get in your way.
If you change one heart, you can change the world.
I have a Bible.
And then you ought to know, same God made you, made me.
The Best of Enemies, based on the untold true story. Rated PG-13. May be inappropriate for children under 13. In theaters April 5th.
Hi, this is Amy Jacobson. Spring is going to be here soon, and it's the perfect time to take notice of any paint issues. Call the professionals at CertaPro Painters right away to take care of your home. Our front porch and back porches were chipping and peeling, just an eyesore. But CertaPro Painters swooped in and made a huge difference. They also painted a majority of our rooms in our house, the quality, service, and attention to detail like no other paint company. You know, spring is the season of change. Time to change your wall color or exterior and transform your home with an updated new look. And if you want some help with colors, they've got you covered with in-home color consultation or online with a color visualizer. Don't put it off. Time to hire CertaPro Painters, your residential and commercial painting expert. Schedule a free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
My name is Stefan Saporta, and I am a proud sponsor of AM 560's Food for the Poor campaign. I am also the principal attorney of one of the premier mortgage foreclosure defense firms in the state of Illinois. Since 2009, colleagues have turned to us for both instruction and guidance, and many have referred their clients to us. By zealously defending their cases in court, we have enabled many homeowners to qualify for loan modifications and other alternatives to foreclosure. We have even defeated the banks outright in a handful of cases, saving our clients hundreds of thousands of dollars in the process. Give our offices a call to learn more about your rights and how we can help you protect and preserve your home. 815-741-9400. Supportal offices. Quality legal representation at reasonable rates. Our number again is 815-741-9400. Thank you.
It is 6:36. Let's check the roads in the AM 560 traffic center with Jim Talamonte.
In Lyon, signals are flashing red at 41st and Harlem after a rollover crash. Downers Road is wrecked. Prairie at Main Street. Eastbound I-80, traffic's a little tight right now. Chicago Street to Richards. The inbound Edens has some congestion approaching the junction. Kennedy has a delay from Canfield to Central. 26 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 23. Inbound Eisenhower delays start before First Avenue. 34 minutes, 390 to downtown, outbound 31. Mount Stevenson, 44 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. The Ryan is 25 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 16 minutes, I-80 to the merge, Bishop Ford 18. Tollways are still fairly light. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Sunny and chilly. High of 44. Clear and 30 overnight. 25 at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 7. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560 The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Money Hour Radio Show, Saturday afternoons at 3 on AM 560 The Answer. Brought to you by Pearshell Financial Group.
Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560 The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. We're coming to you live this morning from Tej Hanley in Ukrainian Village in the city of Chicago, part of our AM 560 Signature Bank Business Tour. And we're a week away from local elections. It's not just the mayor of Chicago. And it's not just aldermanic races. There's races for school boards and village boards and mayor races.
And referendums.
And referendums, importantly, as well, all over Chicagoland, all over the state. But in Chicagoland, are you going to vote? Are you going to vote in District 86, Hinsdale referendum? School referendum there, in addition to mayor's races in the region that run concurrent with the referendum question and have real divisions between local officials, some supporting increasing property taxes for District 86, which is not just Hinsdale, but Willowbrook and Burr Ridge and Oakbrook. New Trier, bond issue. There's a tax increase referendum in Oswego, 208. And all the school districts are doing the same thing that Hinsdale did.
Oh, really?
The Michael Avenatti routine.
Oh, the shakedown?
Either you give us the money that we demand from your home value, or your programs get it. We shut down the clubs. We shut down the football program.
We shut down sports. No swimming.
That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
Interesting. Chicago Tribune opined on the topic as aggressively as they can, which is not nearly aggressive enough, but nonetheless, talking about Hinsdale's referendum specifically. After two previous rejections, Hinsdale 86, asking voters to support a property tax hike for quote-unquote school improvements. I'm putting the quotations in there. Hinsdale School Board members at the December meeting voted to cut 9 sports at both schools, including football, wrestling, cheerleading, and water polo, along with the marching band and several extracurriculars. The cuts would be effective this fall. That's the extortion racket.
They might as well just be homeschooled. Because there's no extracurricular sports. I mean, that's what they're threatening. That they're going to take all that away. Please.
Don't take a shot at homeschooling families.
I'm not.
Those kids participate in more extracurriculars than do kids in public school. The subhead in the Tribune talking about this Hinsdale referendum. No football at Hinsdale Central or South? Really? Question mark. Really? The uncertainty of next year's athletic programs contributed to the recent departure of Hinsdale Central's football coach to Lions. Dan Hartman said he would have explored the opportunity. He would have explored the opportunity at Lions anyway, but the circumstances at Hinsdale played a role in his decision to leave. Who could blame him? Yeah. Voters again rejected a bond issue of $166 million just November. Before that, they rejected a $76 million bond sale. So, third time's the charm. $139 million referendum request a week from today.
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. 64636, type in DA, then a quick comment.
The Tribune continuing. One thing is clear from the intensity in Hinsdale. Many Illinois residents feel taxed out. They're tired of government reaching into their pockets. And points out that in 2018, net loss of 45,000 residents, the worst of the 5 years of consistent outmigration in Illinois. April 2nd ballot, Winnetka Public School District 36, $90 million. Did I say New Trier? Public School District 36, $90 million in bonds for building renovations. Barrington 220, $185 million in bonds. River Grove Public Library District, $9 million in bonds for a new library. Really? A new library?
Anybody use
Does
the
River
library?
Grove have the internet?
Are there hotspots anywhere?
I'll tell you, right, rather than the $9 million in bonds, how about you just buy everybody a computer and Wi-Fi access? Stager raising its levy above the cap to hire more public safety and medical personnel. Mentioned Oswego 208. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Go ahead.
Personally, I just don't like their mock 10 saying we're going to take away football. Really? Hinsdale Central and Hinsdale South are going to take away football, cheerleading, and the marching band? It's just a scare tactic to get people to vote for the referendum because it's fake news. And you know that because they can also, besides the student fee that everyone normally has to pay, you can have an athletic fee if worse comes to worse. Charge each athlete $200 to $300 per season or to be on the team. They could do that easily.
In Hinsdale,
instead of sticking it to the taxpayers.
You know what I always make the point is missing from most news reporting, like your former employer, all the network affiliates, the print outlets, the Chicago Press Corps, to the 2 C's. Context and consequence. Context for understanding, consequence for meaning. So here's some context for Hinsdale. Property tax change in the last 6 years, 2012 to 2018, up 21%, property taxes in Hinsdale.
Oy.
District revenue, District 86 tax revenue, up 9%. Enrollment, down 5%. Debt incurred, $25 million. So here we have the same story writ large in the state of Illinois. We continue to spend more on K-12 education as enrollment declines. We continue to borrow more as enrollment declines, and performance is flat at best. So are you going to continue to buy the blank check demagoguery of teachers' unions and frankly, the hate has no home here, cultural Marxists who just think if you're opposed to signing your name on a blank check and signing away your home equity, that you're somehow opposed to K-12 education? You're going to continue to buy that simplistic argument and fallacious argument?
Well, they keep, and then they took all the seniors, they bussed them to a polling place to show that, all the seniors that are 18 years old that could vote, to show solidarity for this. But again, it's unfair and it's wasteful and it's unaffordable. And why? No doesn't mean no. No means maybe, because this is the third time they've been trying to pass this referendum. I mean, is it ever going? If they vote it down again, Dan, is it going to come back again?
Sure. 7
and
times.
Again and again.
Hinsdale 86 has put 7 referenda on the ballot in the last 20 years. 3 have passed. And you know what they do when the 3 pass?
What?
They just spend what they wanted to spend with the others that didn't pass. They overspend. Of course they do. I mean, that's how you get the numbers that I just
let's reward
dictated.
bad behavior. I mean,
Do you want to understand where this goes? I mean, we've talked about Hinsdale. We've given the property tax report there. Here at McHenry County, no one is insulated. McHenry County. 23 of the 32 counties we looked at in McHenry County have effective property tax rates higher than the state average, which, again, is twice the national average. Give you an example. What happens? James and Nora Bogren purchased a 5-bedroom, 3-bath home in Richmond, up in McHenry County, for $338,000 in 2004. That's $447,000 in constant 2018 dollars. In comparison, just across the border in Lake Geneva, 3-bedroom, 2-bath home that had less square footage than the Bogrens sold for $370,000. March 3rd. The rate was 1.49%. The property tax rate is a percentage of home value. I mean, even a bigger one here. The president of Emergency 24, it's like an alarm company.
Okay.
I mean, holy cow, I'm in the wrong business. The Monteverdes purchased a home in 2010 in Barrington for $7.47 million in today's dollars. 20,000 square foot mansion. You know,
that's just a lot of work.
2 floor-to-ceiling river rock fireplaces, 30-foot cypress dome ceiling,
sure.
floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking a pond, waterfall, 22 wooded acres. $7.47 million in 2010, so sort of at the bottom of the market, right after the bubble burst.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. The home sold March 18th this month.
Can I guess?
Yeah.
7.2?
4.48.
Ooh.
Which is the most anyone has paid for a home in that area for 7 years, since 2012.
And they're going to get fleeced, too.
They lost $3 million. Oh, they also paid $500,000 in the 9 years they owned the property in property taxes. That's 12.5% effective tax rate. They've also now left the country. Ringwood, 6.44%. These are median home sale prices, July to December last year. Effective tax rate on those home sales, median, 6.44%. Median sale price, $115,000. So, up and down, from $115,000 to millions of dollars. Richmond, 3.83% effective tax rate, more than 3 times national average, 3.5 times. $109,000 is the median sale price. Bull Valley, 3.61%. Barrington Hills, Island Lake, Lakemore, Lakewood, Cary, Fox River Grove, Port Barrington, McHenry, Harvard, Crystal Lake, Algonquin, Prairie Grove, and on and on and on. I mean, what does it take to register? What does it take to motivate people to push back against the blank check thugs that are pushing these referendum? And frankly, in the most disgraceful way, using your children and your children's extracurricular activities to extort you, to get you to sign over the deed to your home, effectively.
But it's also something that brings the community together. I mean, even if you don't have a kid at Hinsdale Central or Hinsdale South, people in the community go to those football games. So they're scaring even people that don't have kids, I think, to try to get them to vote for it.
Jared in Munster, Indiana, where people are moving.
Hey, Dan and Amy. Greetings from Northwest Indiana.
There you go.
Hey, I wanted to chime in on Hinsdale specifically because I recall them mentioning that, there's an aging pool and a 50-year-old boiler that they have to address right now. And the question I have is, if you know these things are aging and deteriorating, why haven't you planned ahead for funding these projects?
Why aren't you maintaining them on a rolling
estate,
basis?
Right. Commercial real estate, they create reserves. Condominium associations, they create reserves. Why can't a school or other, public entities create reserves and plan ahead?
Right. That's a great question,
I'm sure
Jared.
there's a
Thanks.
parent at the school who can fix the boiler or give them a discount on that. Like when we need repairs, we go ask, if we need painting, we ask somebody, is there, somebody's parent a painter here? So then they give it to you at a discounted rate.
I mean, excuse
Or for
me.
tuck pointing.
Pardon me. Hinsdale South is what? 40% unoccupied. Bennett, where I went to high school, which draws kids from Hinsdale, we're in a 100-year-old building plus. We managed to educate kids. It's the best high school in the state. Managed to educate kids at Bennett, 100-year-old building. St. Ignatius does the same thing. What is the magic of the Catholic schools that they can educate children in old buildings and you can't educate children in Hinsdale? And then you do this, if you don't pass the referendum, the ceilings are going to cave in. Dave in Lamont.
Yes, I had a fascinating conversation with a couple Hinsdale South school teachers the other night by coincidence. I'm watching the March Madness at a restaurant. End up at a table with these people, and very nice people, but they're school teachers. They started telling me this story of Hinsdale South. 30 teachers are laid off or getting laid off. They're cutting the football program, which to me is like, that was incredible. That's a whole other thing, to start cutting football programs in this country. It's just a sea change. But anyway, they described their neighbors with the vote no signs in their yards, and they had conversations with these neighbors and how angry people are, and they're shocked at how angry people are, but they were very angry as well that these neighbors, because they're ruining it for our children. And I'm like, there it is right there. There's a snapshot. We're being set up for a financial civil war, and I don't mean guns, but just the tone of the divisiveness that these school boards and administrators are. They're dividing communities right down the blocks, neighbor to neighbor, with public employee versus private sector employee. That's my comment. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Dave. Mike of the North Side.
Hi, Dan. Thanks for taking my call. I think you're on the wrong side of this. At least in Hinsdale and New Trier, people have the option of voting. We don't have that in Chicago. And the last group I would listen to is the Tribune editorial board. They're the ones that are pushing Lincoln Yards on everybody, $6 billion to the Pritzkers and the Crowns, like they need the money. And they're also backing a 47th Ward candidate, Michael Martin or Matt Martin, whatever his name is, who wants a 3.5% city income tax. So they're all over the board on this.
Negron put that out. That's not true. I talked to Matt. That was just false advertising.
Yeah, okay, we'll see. All these socialists, they're going to get in and cut the budget. You're right, Aim.
Thanks for the call, Mike.
You have to choose which socialist you want. They're just sad, but true. That's in the 47th Ward.
The vagaries of the various feudal lords is really interesting, but the bottom line is the power brokers in the city have all proposed tax increases. Every single one of them. Graduating the property tax in Chicago on top of it. Imposing a city income tax. Yes, that's been proposed. A LaSalle Street tax we've talked about here. Oh, by the way, some additional news.
Mm-hmm.
You got a doubling of the state gas tax in the works, too. Amendment to Senate Bill 103 would double the motor fuel tax at the state level from 38 cents to 38 cents a gallon from 19 cents. Take effect July of this year.
That's a big jump. I mean, not as big as Detroit was proposing, 75 cents, but still. That's another way to pinch you.
We pay the highest gas taxes in the nation because of the layers of taxation. We're one of the few states that double taxes gas because you have taxes on taxes.
That's nice. My taxes are taxed?
Gas tax and then a sales tax on the gas tax with the gas tax factored into the sales tax.
Splendid.
Additionally, you've got a 50% or $50, increase in new license plates from 98 to 148. Doubling driver's license fees from $30 to $60. $60 increase on vehicle titles and $100 hike across all classes of trucks. A weight tax for trucks. Get that pesky trucking business out of the state as well. Yeah, just so we understand here, the 10.25% tax, right? Federal motor fuel excise tax, 18.4 cents. State underground storage and environmental fees, a little over 1 cent, and on down the line. 19 cents, which would go to 38, 5 cents Chicago motor fuel tax, 6 cents Cook County motor fuel tax. This is why with the, I've always wanted, and it's illegal to do, you need an enabling legislation, break down the cost of gas on the receipt at the pump. So you see,
that's right. So you see,
how much the oil companies make, which is like 1 cent a gallon, a couple cents a gallon, you know, the big bad Exxon, and see what governments make. See what governments take at every level, local, regional, and state. And then maybe get a little sense of why people are fleeing the state like it's on fire. Dan and Amy coming to you live from Tiege Henley in the Ukrainian Village, part of our AM 560 Signature Bank Business Tour.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm Lou Dobbs. President Trump renews his support for Israel. A busy day ahead for economic reports. Men's clothing retailers adapting to new no-suit offices. Those stories next.
G'day, I'm Scott from Plug-in Pest Free. I want to personally thank all my Plug-in Pest Free customers who have taken the time out to call, write, and who have left messages to thank me for ridding their homes and businesses of unwanted rodent and pest problems. So from me to you, I thank you. Plug-in Pest Free is the only scientifically tested and, more importantly, consumer-proven electromagnetic pest management system since 1995. Why put up with those annoying rodents and pests any longer? Plug-in Pest Free is 100% chemical-free, making it your safest bet to manage your rodent and pest problems around your family and pets. With a 60-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to lose. So order yours today at gopestfree.com. Use promo code SAVE20 for 20% off and free shipping. That's gopestfree.com, promo code SAVE20. Don't spray and regret. Plug in and forget. GoPestFree.com today.
President Trump has signed a proclamation officially recognizing the Golan Heights as sovereign territory of Israel. President Trump signed the proclamation as Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu visited the White House Monday, strengthening their personal relationship. Economic reports today include housing starts for the month of February, a new update on consumer confidence. And men's clothing retailers such as Men's Wearhouse and Joseph A. Bank are marketing to younger men who are less inclined to be buying suits for work. They say it just makes sense for them to adapt to changing consumer trends. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 o'clock and 10 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Let's think about customization, presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Liberty Mutual customizes your auto insurance so you only pay for what you need. So why aren't more things in life customizable? Like, why do I have to pay a full gym membership when I don't even use all the equipment? Like the rowing machine. I don't know about you, but I'm not doing a ton of manual lake travel these days.
Go to libertymutual.com for a customized quote and you could save.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates, equal housing insurer.
Even in my own home, I had my own designated space to smoke. If I think about it, it really was like I was punishing myself. A friend of mine said, why wouldn't you just try the Juul? And so I went out and I bought one. The idea of going back to smoking, I couldn't even imagine doing that. I don't think anyone, including myself, thought that I could switch.
Carolyn made the switch October 2016. Make the switch at JUUL.com. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Don't forget that you can watch Chicago's Morning Answer on the Income Store live video stream every morning at 560theanswer.com.
Recovery from mental and substance use disorders is real. It happens every day. You can recover. Discover hope and help.
Never give up on yourself.
Join the Voices for Recovery. For confidential information for mental and substance use disorders, call 1-800-662-HELP. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
Democrats want more information from the Attorney General by a week from today. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. They're demanding the full Mueller report, not the summary William Barr released. They want to see the evidence the special counsel considered but made no conclusion on regarding possible presidential obstruction of justice. Now, William Barr will testify in the House in 2 weeks. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, this hearing before the House Appropriations Committee was already scheduled, but Barr is sure to face questions about the findings of the special counsel. This is House Intelligence Committee Chair, Democrat Adam Schiff, says he accepts Robert Mueller's findings of no Trump-Russia conspiracy, but still has doubts.
I've said all along that we would accept whatever conclusions he reaches as a prosecutor. I've also said that there is a big difference between whether there's evidence of collusion, and I think that evidence is in plain sight.
Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman, Republican Lindsey Graham, says he also has asked Barr to testify. Dave?
Rachel, the Pentagon's found up to $1 billion to give President Trump to build 57 miles of 18-foot high fencing on the border. A House vote today is expected to fall short of overriding President Trump's veto of the resolution to block his emergency declaration. Success in the sky. The U.S. military shoots down a test missile with 2 interceptors fired from Vandenberg Air Force Base in California. The missile was launched 4,000 miles away, resembling the type North Korea or Iran might use. Starting today, bump stocks are banned. If you have them, you're supposed to turn them in or destroy them.
Bump stocks are attachments that essentially allow shooters to fire semi-automatic rifles continuously with only one pull of the trigger. They were used by Stephen Paddock in the October 2017 Las Vegas massacre, which killed 58 and hurt hundreds more.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers. Attorney Michael Avenatti freed on bond in New York City as he battles charges he tried to extort millions from Nike. He claims he'll be exonerated. He's also charged with bank and wire fraud in California. This is Fox News.
Skies are clear, 25 degrees at 7:02 on AM 560 The Answer, and good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Chicago Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson says the murder of Officer John Rivera could be treated as a hate crime. Authorities say the weekend shooting did not happen because Rivera was a policeman. The alleged gunman, Menelik Jackson, had been in a fight with groups of Hispanic men on a party bus, and he sought revenge by shooting the first Hispanic man with whom he came into contact. A 10-year-old boy who was shot in Harvey over the weekend has died. Police say Ezra Hill of DeKalb was shot twice Saturday afternoon, sitting in a vehicle with his father. He was pronounced dead at Christ Medical Center in Oak Lawn yesterday afternoon. A man is under arrest for a fatal stabbing in Joliet. Robert Watson of Chicago being held on murder charges connected to the stabbing of Emmanuel Bergrino of Hales Corners, Wisconsin, at Harrah's Casino. A convicted sex offender is being held without bond in connection with the kidnapping and sexual assault of a Northern Illinois college student. Justin Del Colo appeared in court in DuPage County on aggravated kidnapping, armed robbery, and 1 count of aggravated criminal sexual assault charges. The Bears will celebrate the NFL's 100th season when they kick off the 2019 campaign with a Thursday night game against the Packers at Soldier Field. 2 teams have played each other 198 times. Chicago sports. Blackhawks look to make it 2 wins in a row. They traveled to the desert to take on Arizona tonight, 5 points out of the final wild card spot. Bulls are in Toronto tonight. Sox face the Diamondbacks again today in the final match of the spring before heading to Kansas City on Thursday for opening day. Cubs open up against the Red Sox again today before leaving Arizona and heading to Texas to open the regular season against the Rangers. The news service of Staples. Staples has the supplies you need to run your business like a boss. This week, buy 1 HP OfficeJet Pro ink cartridge and get a second 30% off so you can stock up and save. Offer ends 3/30/19. Restrictions apply. See store associate or staples.com/HPBOGO for details. Staples. 7:04, time for a dry basement and a healthy home. It's time to call Permaseal, 800-421-SEAL. A check of traffic and weather is on the way next on AM 560.
This is Dr. Howard, founder and formulator of Balance of Nature. We're changing America, one life at a time.
I've probably been on it 2 years now, and it's been, honestly, a godsend. After you're on it for a while, you tend to forget the aches and pains and things that was going on in your body and your life before you started taking Balance of Nature. I get up, I go up and down the stairs, no pain. Hey, you know what? Thank goodness for Balance of Nature.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself by using discount code CHICAGO. The price of fruits and vegetables is going up. Call now to see how you can lock in your price of fruits and vegetables for an entire year and get free shipping on every order. Call 800-246-8751. That's 800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Get up first thing, smoke a cigarette. Before lunch, after lunch. Now that I'm talking about it, I'm kind of feeling like I've lost about 4 hours of every day. I decided I needed to find an alternative. So I started looking, and then Juul came up. I did both for a while. Eventually, I just switched over, and it's very quick.
Mimi made the switch July 2015. Make the switch at JUUL.com. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Guardians of the Grass, run with us on a John Deere X300 Select Series lawn tractor built for versatility. Because when you take pride in your lawn, you do it all. You mulch, bag, haul, grow, mow, and a whole lot more. And that's why the X300 Series takes care of everything with attachments for all your spring and summer projects. Because you're not just doing yard work, you're creating common ground for the whole neighborhood to enjoy. Nothing runs like a Deere. Run with us. Search John Deere X300 for more.
My name is Stefan Saporta, and I am a proud sponsor of AM 560's Food for the Poor campaign. I am also the principal attorney of one of the premier mortgage foreclosure defense firms in the state of Illinois. Since 2009, colleagues have turned to us for both instruction and guidance, and many have referred their clients to us. By zealously defending their cases in court, we have enabled many homeowners to qualify for loan modifications and other alternatives to foreclosure. We have even defeated the banks outright in a handful of cases, saving our clients hundreds of thousands of dollars in the process. Give our offices a call to learn more about your rights and how we can help you protect and preserve your home. 815-741-9400. Supportal offices. Quality legal representation at reasonable rates. Our number again is 815-741-9400. Thank you.
Finding highly skilled accounting and finance professionals can be a challenge. AccountTemps can help. With AccountTemps' extensive network of accounting and finance contractors, you can be sure to find the right person for your exact hiring needs. Visit AccountTemps.com to learn more. AccountTemps, a Robert Half company.
7:08. Check the roads in the AM 560 Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
On the eastbound Reagan Tollway, I-88 traffic is slow this morning between Winfield Road and Yackley. The northbound Tri-State has delays from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue curve. The other tollways remain fairly light. Inbound Edens, 20 minutes, Lake Cook Junction. Outbound, it's the same. Kennedy inbound delays start at Canfield. 36 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 18 from Montrose, 15 on the Express. Outbound 26 minutes to O'Hare. Inbound Eisenhower runs 42 minutes, 390 to downtown, outbound 32. Stevenson 48 minutes, 355 to the drive, outbound 35. The Ryan is 28 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 16 minutes, I-80 to the merge, Bishopport 17. Northbound Lakeshore Drive, it's slow from the Stevenson to Roosevelt. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next, and your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center, here's our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
It will be chilly today, mostly sunny skies though, high 44, clear tonight and a low 30, partly sunny, breezy day tomorrow, high 55. Thursday, mostly cloudy with a shower, the high Thursday near 60. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
26 at O'Hare and 34 along the lakefront. Next news, 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Don't forget that you can watch Chicago's Morning Answer on the Income Store live video stream every morning at 560theanswer.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. We're coming to you live from Tiege Hanley Systems in Ukrainian Village.
Yeah, crowd's getting bigger.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they got to go to work.
Exactly.
Got to make all the product that I model. The skincare systems. We're going to talk at the bottom of the hour with the principal.
Because you're the new
founder of
model.
the new It Girl.
You are
It Girl
it.
2019 right here. We're going to talk to them about their products, how they make me beautiful at the bottom of the hour. But first, we've got to discuss a little bit more of the fallout from the Mueller report and the Barr summary letter of said report. Edward Snowden whisperer Glenn Greenwald has been all over this for, well, the better part of the last 3 years, that the D.C. press corps has been all over it from the other side, suggesting it was nonsense and baseless and amateur conspiracy theorizing from the beginning. And this is somebody, by the way, Glenn Greenwald, founder of The Intercept, who calls Trump one of the most corrupt people ever to be elected president. So hardly an apologist for President Trump. And here was his review on Democracy Now! ! Opposite David K. Johnston, Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist formerly of the New York Times. The Pulitzer Prize is about as valuable as a Nobel Prize these days. Glenn Greenwald on the D.C. press corps' performance as it pertains to this investigation.
This is the saddest media spectacle I've ever seen since I began practicing journalism in 2005. And what makes it even sadder is to watch all of the people who vested their journalistic credibility into what proved to be a complete and total fraud and scam continue to try and cling to some vestige of credibility by continuing to spin conspiracy theories that are even more reckless and more unhinged than the ones to which we've been subjected for 3 years. The great journalist and writer Matt Taibbi wrote in an article over the weekend, and I agree with him completely, that as humiliating as the media debacle was leading up to the Iraq war, what they did over the last 3 years in the Trump-Russia story makes all of that look like a pimple. Even though obviously the Iraq war was much more destructive because it led to the deaths of hundreds of thousands of people, the errors and lies and falsehoods and recklessness and speculation that we've been subjected to over and over and over that Robert Mueller just definitively debunked is far more humiliating journalistically, far more unjustifiably journalistically, and who knows where it will lead to. It's ratcheted up tensions between the two most dangerous nuclear-armed powers in the world, Russia and the United States, that the Bulletin of Atomic Scientists says has brought us to 2 minutes before midnight on their doomsday clock. So it's also been extremely dangerous in ways that we don't yet know. Let me just say two things.
Yeah, and I want to get to that with our next guest, Charles Lipson, but also what Glenn Greenwald is talking about, the Russia piece I want to get to, making it dangerous geopolitically to nuclear powers. But the conspiracy theorizing double down that's going on now after the release this weekend, here's a good, and also the way to spin out of this to try to rescue some shards of credibility. Savannah Guthrie interviewing Sarah Sanders because Trump won't deign to do the show. Sarah Sanders on the report. Listen to Savannah Guthrie's Q&A-ing of Sarah Sanders. in particular this.
Robert Mueller deserved better from the president than this kind of language and behavior?
Frankly, I think the American people deserved better. They didn't deserve for the election of this president to try to be taken down.
Wait a minute, but the president's rhetoric about a public servant doing a job.
Are you kidding? The president's rhetoric matches. They are literally, the media and Democrats have called the president an agent of a foreign government.
Wait,
but that is an accusation equal to treason, which is punishable by death in this country.
Well, wait a minute. You have kids, and you know that if you say, did you do this? The answer isn't, yeah, but my brother did that. So let's talk about the president's behavior. He called Robert Mueller. He trashed him for 2 years. And in the end, Mueller just did an investigation that ultimately the president considers a total exoneration of him. Does he owe Robert Mueller an apology for that kind of rhetoric?
I think Democrats and the liberal media owe the president, and they owe the American people an apology.
I don't think he trashed him. I mean, he trashed the investigation, but I don't remember personal attacks against Mueller. Do you?
Some of his investigative team, he questioned their partisanship and legitimate questions. But the point is, first of all, spare me, like, who owes who an apology? I mean, the last thing we need is crocodile tears spilled in either direction.
Well,
however,
I want an apology from CNN, but all right, I'm not holding my breath.
What is it worth? It's worth nothing. You think they're chastened? Obviously, they're not. So Savannah Guthrie asking if Trump owes Mueller an apology because of a 2-year investigation that went nowhere, that went to exactly the place that President Trump said it would go to, and so many other people, including liberals or libertarians like Glenn Greenwald, said it would go to every step of the way. And yet they're still flacking for Bob Mueller and asking questions like, is he owed an apology? It's remarkable. It's exactly what Glenn Greenwald said. For more on this, we're pleased to be joined by Charles Lipson, who's a professor emeritus of poli-sci at the University of Chicago and a regular commentator at RealClearPolitics.com. Charles, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Oh, Dan, it's great to talk to you and Amy.
Well, you start where you want here in terms of the legal piece of this, the Barr summary, or the sort of the media and punditry review that Glenn Greenwald offered.
I saw Glenn Greenwald on, was it Hannity or maybe it was, no, it was Tucker Carlson last night.
Right.
Did you see it?
I saw him on Democracy Now!, and that was all I could take.
Right. He was livid, and rightly so, at how bad the media has been. But I think that what's most useful in this moment now is to kind of step back, and that's what Greenwald was asking people to do, and say, how did we get to a point where for 2 years, the whole of Donald Trump's presidency, he's been under an investigation which was legitimate in terms of looking at what Russia tried to do, but which should have been concluded fairly quickly because the basis for it was entirely false, that Trump or the Trump campaign had coordinated, colluded, cooperated, whatever you want to call it, with the Russians. They did not. And what's going to happen now is a huge backlash.
Well, because so many people, though, are calling for the entire report to be released. And in order to do that, I mean, you'd have to scrub some grand jury testimony because there's information about certain people that's not necessarily criminal, but I don't know if we need to know about it. Do you think that the whole report should be released?
Amy. I have an article on exactly this, short, fairly readable. I try to write that way, in Real Clear Politics this morning, saying what are the next shoes to drop. And the first one is the one that you just put out, which is obviously the Republicans are going to say it's a complete exoneration. Certainly Trump and the White House have said that. And then the Democrats are going to say, no, there's, the obstruction issue and Barr is trying to cover all that up. And the only way we can really find this out is if everything is released. But as I explained briefly, there are, besides the issue of whether there are sources and methods of intelligence in the report, there are grand jury proceedings which, by criminal law, it's criminal to release that. Okay. And there are people whose names may be smeared. You cannot say Dan Proft did something wrong, but we're not going to indict him. Prosecutors can't do that. They can't say Charles Lipson. We found this evidence against Charles Lipson, but we're not going to indict him. That's what James Comey did in that press conference about Hillary, and that's what people objected to because it is against the rules. So that's an issue. And I just think that you have to – but as long as anything is not disclosed, the people who are standing next to the airport and waiting for the cargo cult to deliver them food, which was the story after World War II. There were people out in the South Pacific who kept thinking the Americans are going to come back and bring us food. Well, that's what the Democrats are doing.
I wanted to get your response to the other point that Greenwald made, which has not been made by many, but I thought it was interesting, that prosecuting this investigation over the last 2 years and the way that it was done and the way that it was covered by the media breathlessly day after day by Rachel Maddow and others of her ilk actually increased tensions between two nuclear powers, the United States and Russia, unnecessarily, and it made the world a more dangerous place by extension. What about that?
I think that's right, but it can't be undone. We just have to move forward from in terms of international politics. It's just one of the things. I think that actually tensions would be very high with the Russians anyway because of their behavior. After we had extended NATO into Central Europe, the Russians were bound to push back, but the Russians under Putin are also trying to play a global role, and to the extent that that runs up against us, there are going to be problems. In fact, there are recent reports that they have now sent troops to back Maduro in Venezuela.
Right.
So I think it's right that it did ratchet up tensions. But let me cover a couple of other points, Dan and Amy. One is that the Democrats really have to decide whether they're going to push ahead with all these continuing investigations of Trump. And I see a split among Democrats on this. The base wants this guy out. They want him investigated. They want him impeached. And Nadler and Schiff want to do these investigations. And I think Nancy Pelosi, Steny Hoyer, and some of the more sane heads actually think they could lose their House majority over that.
Yeah, the problem they have is over the top. You've got POTUS candidates that want the same, and they're not bound by Nancy Pelosi's power in the House.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think a number of these primary candidates just have their finger up in the wind, and they're trying to appeal to the base, and so the base is just totally wants the party to go after Trump as hard as it possibly can, and that means investigate.
So do you agree with me?
I think that leads us to the third basket, which is who led us down this rabbit hole, and there's going to be a lot of blame at CNN and the MSNBC and the media that completely misunderstood what was really going on, because they missed what was in basket number 4, which is it really does look like at the highest levels of the Obama Justice Department and Comey FBI, there was a systematic attempt to undermine the Trump presidential campaign and then undermine his presidency.
So
this is, if true, and there's a lot of evidence that's emerging from it. First of all, it needs to be thoroughly investigated, and if it's true, it is the biggest political story of our lifetime.
And so the media's coverage the last 3 years and the behavior of the Schiffs and Swalwells and Maxine Waterses of the world, do you agree with me that by trying to prevent Trump from getting 1 term, they've guaranteed him getting 2 terms?
I wouldn't say they've guaranteed him. I think that the biggest question that lies out there is what the economy does. If there's a recession, I think it's hard to predict what will happen. But presidents tend to get reelected, but we're in a very new era, and not just because everybody says we're always in a new era all the time, but because of the nature of the media. It just seems to me that everything has speeded up, that political issues are more intense, that the country is so deeply divided, and that there's so few people who are genuinely undecided. Doesn't it seem that way to you?
Yeah, it does, and now we've lost Michael Avenatti as an option to unite us, and so that's unfortunate.
I'll
Charles,
tell you,
we got to run. Charles Lipson,
he was
Professor
bad
Emeritus.
news, and it's good to see the Gray Bar Hotel open up.
Professor Emeritus of Poli Sci at UFC, Charles Lipson. Thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Dan and Amy.
Thanks, and he joined us on our Turnkey.Pro answer line.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
Do you have a family? Would you like to help make sure they'll be taken care of if anything were to happen to you? If you answered yes, you probably need life insurance. Now, do you think life insurance is expensive? If you answered yes to that too, you definitely need to give AIG Direct a call. We could find you a $250,000 policy for just $14 a month, which means you could save hundreds of dollars a year. Call us now for a free, no-obligation quote. 1-800-700-1368. Since 1995, we've helped millions of people find out if they could save up to 70% on their term life insurance. See how affordably we can help you protect your family. Call AIG Direct now for your free quote. 1-800-700-1368. You could save up to 70%. That's 1-800-700-1368. 1-800-700-1368.
You probably didn't realize that, but the largest organ on your body is your skin. And guys, you're probably not taking care of it the way you should. You're probably using the same body bar of soap in the shower on your face like some kind of savage. And I bet you're not using any type of daily moisturizer, let alone one with SPF. It's time to do something smart about your skincare. There's a company right here in Chicago called Tiege Hanley, and they're doing something about how men think about and treat their skin. Started by 4 guys who know how guys think, Tiege Hanley is simple, affordable, and effective. You get all the products you need for your daily skincare regimen shipped directly to your door through their subscription service. No hidden fees or inflated costs, and they have online reviews. They have an online review score of 4.6 out of 5 based on more than 2,200 reviews. Choose from 3 skincare systems, which each include their wash, scrub, and moisturizers with SPF 20. And you can even up your routine to include eye cream and or super serum, both for fighting the signs of aging. And that's what I'm using, Amy, the super serum to fight the signs of aging and address my raccoon eyes.
You look so much younger.
Thank you very much. And right now, go to Tiege.com/DanProft. That's me. Use promo code DAN20, that's DAN20, the number 20, and check out for 20% off your first box. That's Tiege, TIEGE.com/my name, DanProft. And use the promo code DAN20.
On April 5th, don't miss The Best of Enemies, starring Academy Award nominee Taraji P. Henson.
I play Ann Atwater, a civil rights activist who was able to approach hate with love.
And Academy Award winner Sam Rockwell.
All the better is you don't get in my way.
Well, I'm gonna get in your way.
If you change one heart, you can change the world.
I have a Bible.
Then you ought to know, same God made you, made me.
The Best of Enemies, based on the untold true story. Rated PG-13. May be inappropriate for children under 13. In theaters April 5th.
Hey, it's tax season again, and the April 15th deadline is right around the corner. And if you haven't filed your tax returns the past few years or for several years, Dan, maybe you're just in debt to the IRS and don't know what to do or who to turn to. Well, I want you to write down this number and this name or save it on your phone. Attorney Stephen Leahy, the one, the only. Call him 312-664-6649. Stephen will help you. Stephen's a friend of mine and of AM 560s, and he's the host of the IRS Radio Hour, heard every Sunday afternoon at 5 p.m. You can trust Attorney Leahy to solve your IRS problems. He's local right here in Chicago, available to meet with you one-on-one. And if you fear the IRS will take your money, bank account, wages, visit you at your home or job, and now they can even take your passport, then you need to talk to the trusted attorney of AM 560, and that's Attorney Stephen Leahy. Call him now, 312-664-6649. Attorney Leahy will solve your IRS problems for good. Call 312-664-6649 or visit ChicagoTaxTeam.com. That's ChicagoTaxTeam.com.
Message and data rates may apply. Individual results may vary. See website for details.
But hey, I'm buying a huge flat screen TV so I can finally see it without my glasses.
Why not just get LASIK at the LASIK Vision Institute? That's what I'm doing.
My glasses and contacts are a pain. I'd love to finally get rid of these, but who can afford LASIK?
You can. Because the LASIK Vision Institute is offering dramatically low prices and an absolutely free consultation. Just text TRY to 350-350. The LASIK Vision Institute has already performed over 1 million procedures. They use the latest FDA-approved LASIK technology that helps the majority of patients achieve 20/20 vision for a fraction of what others charge. Better vision, better value. The LASIK Vision Institute. Make this the year you finally get LASIK. For a free consultation plus an extra 20% discount, text TRY to 350-350. You'll see for free if LASIK is right for you. That's TRY to 350-350.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, one word, uncomplicated.
Don't hate me because I'm beautiful. Hate Tish Hanley. They're my skincare provider. We'll talk to the principal of Tish Hanley at 7:37.
But first, let's head straight into that newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Beautiful blue skies this International Waffle Day. 26 degrees at 7:31. Attorney General Bill Barr reportedly knew about 3 weeks ago that special counsel Robert Mueller would not pursue obstruction of justice against President Trump. Sources say Mueller told Barr and Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein during a meeting at the Justice Department. President Trump saying he believes special counsel Robert Mueller acted honorably in his case.
It's lasted a long time. We're glad it's over. It's 100% the way it should have been. I wish it could have gone a lot sooner, a lot quicker.
Attorney Michael Avenatti faces federal charges on both coasts this morning. In Los Angeles, the former lawyer for adult entertainer Stormy Daniels is accused of using a client's money fund to spend out cash on a lavish lifestyle.
On his Twitter account, Mr. Avenatti describes himself as, quote, attorney, advocate, fighter for good, unquote. But the allegations in this case describe something different. A corrupt lawyer who instead fights for his own selfish interests. U.S.
Attorney Nicola Hanna says the L.A. office is accusing Avenatti of wire fraud and bank fraud. Federal prosecutors in New York are charging him with trying to extort $20 million from Nike. New Jersey is legalizing doctor-assisted suicide. Medical Aid in Dying for the Terminally Ill Act passed both houses on Monday, and Governor Phil Murphy, a Democrat, says he will sign that legislation. Chicago Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson says the murder of Officer John Rivera could be treated as a hate crime. He said the alleged gunman, Menelik Jackson, had reportedly been fighting with a group of Hispanic men on a party bus before the shooting.
He was searching around for the party bus. The party bus had left the area, so I guess he settled for the first Hispanic he saw.
Authorities say the weekend shooting did not happen because Rivera was a policeman. Chicago mayoral candidate Tony Preckwinkle asked to address comments made by Congressman Bobby Rush at a weekend campaign rally. Rush said opponent Lori Lightfoot's pro-police position will result in more black people being killed under her administration. Preckwinkle repeatedly said during the debate on Channel 9 that Rush simply speaks for himself. The Blackhawks tangle with the Coyotes in a playoff critical matchup tonight. Bulls go north of the border to take on the Raptors in Toronto. Sox defeat the Diamondbacks 6-3. Cole Hamels hit a home run. Cubs beat the Red Sox 3-2 at Sloan Park. The news, a service of Staples, with the supplies you need to run your business like a boss. This week, buy one HP Office Jet Pro Ink cartridge and get a second 30% off, so you can stock up and save. Offer ends 3/30/19. Restrictions apply. See store or associate or staples.com/HBBOGO for details. Staples. 7:34. And a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Attention maintenance coordinators. Fans are a vital part of your business's building or factory. You've got to keep the air moving. But when they break down or need service, who can you call? Vans Industrial repair all types of fans, from small wall fans to large air movers.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, president of Vans Industrial. Fan repair is one of many services that Vans offers. If you have a fan with a damaged shaft, bearing, impeller, or housing, we can help. And if you need a new fan, we handle all major brands and can provide engineering assistance to properly size your new fan. Our crews can respond to your emergencies or routine maintenance and will have your fan back up and running fast. And when we're done repairing your fan, we can also dynamically balance it so it runs smooth for years to come.
Vans uses only the best and safest union-trained mechanics, insured at the highest level, to perform the job right. Call 833-VANS-IND to get your fan repaired today. That's 833-VANS-IND. Or on the web at vansindustrial.com.
What if donut shops were like most investment firms? They'd sell one kind of donut and expect everyone to like it. Sprinkles? No. Glaze? No. Ooey gooey fillings? No, no, and no. Creative planning is different. We look at your entire financial picture to create an individual plan just for you. Call 866-CREATIVE or visit creativeplanning.com to learn more. Investment strategies recommended by Creative Planning are not assured of earning a profit or avoiding a loss in declining markets.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest-growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Bob Ament, a founding partner of the law firm of Dassman & Ament and longtime personal customer of Signature Bank. Our firm recently left one of the larger banks to bank with Signature Bank, and it's been a refreshing change. With Signature Bank, we've been able to tailor banking solutions that fit the specific needs of our firm. Beyond that, Signature Bank is responsive, efficient, and timely in meeting those needs. If I have a request, I pick up the phone and talk to Mick O'Rourke, not someone at a phone bank thousands of miles away. Dassman & Ament needed more than what the larger banks offer, and we found that with Signature Bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Check out Ground Game, the latest podcast from the Associated Press discussing the top political issues around the country. Available on Apple Podcasts.
7:37. And a check on the roads in the AM 560 traffic center with Jim Talamonte.
The inbound Eisenhower has gotten heavier. We're seeing delays from 25th Avenue to the Burns Circle. It's 53 minutes from 390 to downtown, 40 from Manheim. Outbound just 30 minutes to 390. Eden's 19 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 20. Kennedy, 36 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, 20 from Montrose, 18 on the Express, outbound 26 to O'Hare. Stevens, 53 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 35. Ryan is 30 minutes from 95th to downtown. I-57, Bishop Ford, 17 minutes, ID to the merge. Northbound Tri-State delays. The 82nd Street toll to LaGrange Road. The Reagan tollway to the Grand Avenue curve. Reagan tollway's heavy. Farnsworth to Eola, Raymond to Mill, and 83 to Roosevelt. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Sunny, chilly, high 44, clear and 30 overnight. Partly sunny and breezy, 55 tomorrow. Currently, we have 26 degrees at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560 The Answer.
Don't forget that you can watch Chicago's Morning Answer on the Income Store live video stream every morning at 560theanswer.com.
Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. We're coming to you live from Tiege Hanley in Chicago, part of our AM 560 Signature Bank Business Tour. And we're pleased to be joined by Kelly Thornton, who is the CEO, founder and CEO.
That's right.
Of Tiege Hanley. This is incredible. Also, I have been retained as a spokesmodel, sort of going back to my...
Of you. Going back to your roots, really.
Going back to my runway days a little bit.
You used to be a Victoria's swimsuit model, right?
I'm a crossover artist. There's no question.
Oh, yeah. Here comes Dan. Oh, yeah.
So,
he's hot.
So men's skincare.
That's right.
Men's skincare. Give us the the idea that you had to serve this market?
Yeah, it just happened one day when my wife looked at me and said, Kelly, you're not getting any younger.
That's nice.
You don't want to get traded in for a new model.
How are things going at home?
Exactly. Great, actually, now that I'm using Teach Hanley. I went down to Nordstrom one day to buy myself some new shoes and ended up in the men's grooming department, walked over to the grooming counter, and the lady behind the counter said, "What are you using?" And I said, "What do you mean, what am I using? What should I be using?" She pulled out, some toners and some scrub and some moisturizer. And I honestly had no idea what she was talking about.
And how many years ago was that?
That was about 2015. So I said, "What should I be using?" She said, "Well, I've got something really good here for you underneath the counter." And she pulled out something. She said, "This is BB tint. It's really hot. You should try it."
And it's like $150 a dollop.
Exactly. It was, and honestly, I was embarrassed. I had no idea what was going on. I said, "Yeah, give me some of that stuff." I walked out of there, and I said, "We can fix this marketplace. We can make it simple. We don't have to spend a lot of money, and we can figure out how to get guys what they need to look good and feel good about themselves."
Wow. So you started this, and it just tell us it's 3 process. A wash, a scrub, and then the lotion.
Yeah, we really think that, following a routine is an important thing. It's like guys going to the gym or brushing their teeth every day. All you need to do is wash your face with something that's meant for your face and not for other parts in your body, and put a moisturizer on. It's really, really important to protect your skin with a moisturizer that has an SPF. We have a great moisturizer that has an SPF in it. And, my partner, Rob, who's a college roommate of mine, his father died young with melanoma. It wasn't, we didn't fall into the whole skin cancer thing until a little bit later on, but we realized that it's important for guys to take care of their skin. So wash your face, put on a good moisturizer with an SPF, repeat again at night with a moisturizing cream before you go to bed, and you're good to go. And it will make a difference. Women have known this for a long time, and us guys are just getting into it.
Now, not everybody is comfortable with their beauty the way that I am, and doesn't want to be considered sort of a metrosexual. And so how do you market to guys who are like, skin creams and eye creams?
Right.
What are you talking about? I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you get the word out? Because it's not like we were talking off air. It's not like you're sitting around watching the tournament and you guys start talking about skincare.
Right. Well, there's a couple different things. First is, we are really trying to help guys look and feel good. We know that, when you feel good about yourself, and you take care of yourself and you feel good about yourself, it helps all around. And so it's an important thing for guys to want to, take care of themselves and to feel good about themselves, go to work every day, compete in the marketplace. And so we talk about that, but we also talk about the importance of just, protecting your skin against skin cancer. So, they're 2 important things that we talk about every day. We're out on the internet having that type of conversation.
Yeah, talk about how you market, because it's really interesting using social media, online influencers, and really marketing online. I've seen some of your YouTube ads now recently, and just talk about how you build audience that way.
Yeah, I mean, there's a big conversation out, in the online marketplace about what it's like to be a guy, a big, broad kind of conversation that goes on, what it's like to be a guy and why it's important to take care of yourself. And our partners in this business, myself, Rob, and Aaron Marino. Aaron Marino is a YouTube grooming fitness influencer, and he talks about what's important for a guy to do to take care of himself and to stay in good shape, and how to be a man, and and how to take care of himself. So he talks about this online every day, and we help guys understand the concept.
Now, he's not one of those influencers whose parents bribed to get him into USC. He's not one of those kind of influencers.
No, actually,
Okay.
he's not that type of guy.
Okay,
With this whole, selfie generation, you're attracting a lot of millennials because they look at their selfies and think, "Uh-oh, I'm getting some crow's feet, I'm getting some lines, I'm getting the
Exactly.
number 11 in between."
Exactly.
You're familiar with the number 11 in between?
No, this is all frozen now. I got Pelosi up here. Now I'm using the skincare below to deal with the eyes. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, young guys just, they're on their phones all the time,
Yeah.
and they're taking selfies, and this, social media today, it just has elevated the whole the whole me generation, and it's important to look good. So we average, actually, our average age of our guys around 30, but we're pretty equally distributed between, that 30 to 55 and the 30 and under. Our biggest cohorts are younger guys, and that's just because, we're on the internet and that's where they are, and they're open to it. I mean, younger guys are open to taking care of their skin. So,
yeah, Dan.
Well, I'm a young guy taking care of my skin. That's the whole point. Here's the thing. I just so people get a little bit comfortable too, I think it's important to note, I mean, you just started this company a couple of years ago.
That's right.
And it's exploded. So it's not like anybody who wants to try your product is a pioneer or should feel uncomfortable about it. I mean, this is worldwide.
That's right. We ship to 108 countries.
It's crazy.
30% of our business goes overseas. So we've got guys all around the world, and it's primarily because we're on the internet, and there's guys from both Germany and India and Southeast Asia that are following us every week. We do something really interesting. We vlog every week on Sundays, and we talk about the last 7 days of our business, how to build a brand and how to build a business. Every Sunday we blog, and we're very transparent, and we have thousands of guys. We have 38,000 guys that follow our personal Teach Hanley YouTube channel, and they pay attention to what's going on. They meet our staff, and we've been able to hire great people out of Chicago and work with great universities here, and we're proud of that. And they follow right along. We're very, very transparent. We feel transparency is an important attribute.
One of the nice about your office space here. This is an incubator. Just to talk a little bit about this, the Westtown area of Chicago, and this business incubator. We spend a lot of time, unfortunately, having to talk about people leaving, businesses leaving, but you do have these incubators around the city and around the region that are providing a glide path for entrepreneurs like yourself.
Yeah, this is a great building. This is ICNC. And it's, as you mentioned, Ukrainian Village area. It's a fantastic place for young companies. There's about 200 companies in this building, and they range everywhere from, really just mom and pop startups that are working on, pressing T-shirts, and to companies like ours that have developed products, to larger companies like Farmer's Fridge, which are the famous green refrigerators you see at O'Hare and around. So and they range from guys that are just literally husband and wives coming to work and working in this building every day, to funded companies like Farmer's Fridge, and they offer great support. They have HR here, and they offer great support, and there's a whole community around these entrepreneurs, which is a really wonderful thing, and that's what ICNC provides. So we're really happy to be part of this family.
So how many skincare companies are owned and operated by guys?
Very few that we're aware of. I mean, that was part of the problem in my mind. My background's in merchandising, and there's a lot of companies out there. They're traditionally, they show these, Brad Pitt type of guys with their shirts off, with water thrown against them,
Exactly.
and they're, and that's how they market. They market to guys like that, and it's these big companies that are just, just not talking guys' language. But we're for guys that really understand, what it's like to be a guy, and we're shooting down the middle, not after the Porsche driving guy or the this elite athlete that climbs Mount Everest. We're just helping regular guys understand it. You got to take care of your skin.
And what about teenagers with acne? I'm very familiar with that stage in life that people go through right now.
Yeah, we're all over it. I mean, acne is a really important thing, and it just starts with good hygiene. You got to wash your face. And if we can teach young guys to wash their face and to put a good moisturizer on, and we have a great acne product that does very, very, very well for us. And it's just about, applying the right cream that doesn't dry out your face, that has the right product, the right ingredients that really nourish your skin, and also controls acne, the spread of acne. We've got a great product, and we've got a lot of young guys that are using it and raving about it, and they're all over the internet talking about how great it is.
Oh, good.
And you made reference to it, but just a little bit of your background as an entrepreneur. You explained why you started this company with your friends, but your background that brought you to this and turned this business so successful in just a couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, first off, luck has a lot to do with it. I have great partners, and in the right space at the right time, talking about, I think, some of the right things that guys are concerned about. But I spent 20 years in merchandising, so I really understand the retail landscape. I spent with my previous job, I owned a global design business, and I traveled the world with big global CPGs, understanding how guys shop. And, guys just don't like to shop. They don't like to go to the dermatologist either. And so
or the doctor.
Or
what's a
dermatologist is
dermatologist?
very advanced for some men.
Yeah, it's a little cray-cray out there
Go
for
to
guys
the
to think about.
urologist, let alone a dermo
Dermatologist. So my background was really understanding how guys shop, which is the reason why we're a direct-to-consumer company, because guys don't like to go shopping. So, one of the things we do here is we have an actual fund started by my co-founder, Rob Hoxie. He actually, everybody at the company gets a free, in addition to the health care that we provide, but gets a free annual dermatologist screening.
Wow.
We actually really believe in it. I mean, it took us a couple years to come out and really embrace the importance of preventing skin melanoma, but we do that, and it's an important part of our company, and
Super sharp. This is great. Kia's Kelly Thorne. He's the founder and CEO of Tiege Henley, where we are broadcasting live today, part of our AM 560 Signature Bank Business Tour. Congratulations on your success. Thanks for hosting us, and continued success.
Yeah, and if you want to buy the product, go to Tiege.com.
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 Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Moisturizer? Sure. Okay. We getting on into the chappy season.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
First Mortgages, Impact Mortgage Group, DBA Cash Call Mortgage, 19500 Jamboree Road, Irvine, California, 92612, NMLS 128231. Equal housing lender not licensed in all states, including New York. Call 855-657-9910 for licensing terms and restrictions. Okay, here's the deal. You're a freelancer, a hired hand, a self-made, self-owned business of one. Whether you're a contractor, creative director, or consultant, you're the boss. And that makes things easy. Unless, of course, you're trying to get a mortgage. When it comes to qualifying for a cash-out refi, gig economy workers come with more obstacles, more complexities, and more stress, right? Wrong. Dial 800-815-0745, and one of our cash-out mortgage specialists will help you qualify for the lowest interest loan possible, regardless of your source of income. It's the easiest call you'll make all day. Dial 800-815-0745. That's 800-815-0745. Make the cash call today. That's 800-815-0745.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
Do you have a family? Would you like to help make sure they'll be taken care of if anything were to happen to you? If you answered yes, you probably need life insurance. Now, do you think life insurance is expensive? If you answered yes to that too, you definitely need to give AIG Direct a call. We could find you a $250,000 policy for just $14 a month, which means you could save hundreds of dollars a year. Call us now for a free, no-obligation quote. 1-800-700-1368. Since 1995, we've helped millions of people find out if they could save up to 70% on their term life insurance. See how affordably we can help you protect your family. Call AIG Direct now for your free quote. 1-800-700-1368. You could save up to 70%. That's 1-800-700-1368. 1-800-700-1368.
Hey, it's March, and for many of us, that means allergy season. And our friends at Balance of Nature have an incredible Madness in March discount that you'll want to take advantage of that I'll tell you about in just a second. But first, let's talk about Balance of Nature. Think of it this way, 10 servings of fruits and veggies in a single capsule. You don't have to go to the store and buy all those lettuce, the lettuce products, the fruit, all of that you know is going to rot in your refrigerator anyway. So this is a great way to get your daily dose of fruits and veggies, especially when it comes to staying healthy this spring. Don't wait until you start feeling sick to take Balance of Nature. Take it today. Start boosting your immune system. And today only, when you go to balanceofnature.com, use promo code AmyJ2. That's AMYJ, the number 2, all one word, AmyJ2, and you'll receive 10% off your first preferred order of Balance of Nature. Again, promo code AmyJ2 when you go to balanceofnature.com, or call one of their operators that are standing by. They'll answer any of your questions. Their number is 800-246-8751. 800-246-8751.
My name is David Hochberg of Team Hochberg. This email is from Debbie. Quote, thank you for all your help, patience, caring, and understanding refinancing my home. Team Hochberg made the transaction stress-free, and I enjoyed working with everyone. From getting a loan started to receiving weekly updates through the closing agent who explained all the closing documents and closed my loan at a time which best fit my hectic schedule. I'll highly recommend Team Hochberg to everyone I know looking for a mortgage. I'm so grateful I called Team Hochberg after hearing one of your radio ads. Team Hochberg is truly the best. If you're interested in purchasing a new home or refinancing your existing home and would like to receive the same level of service Debbie received, give us a call now at 855-56-DAVID or visit 56david.com. Team Hochberg has helped thousands of AM 560 listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 855-56-DAVID. That's 855-56-DAVID or visit 56david.com.
Homeside Financial Equal Housing Lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee, MB 66761019, NMLS 1124061.
My friends who send their sons to Northridge Prep rave how refreshing it is to partner with a school that reinforces the traditional values they hold as parents. Here's what one current Northridge Prep mom had to say. As parents, we don't have a manual. A lot of the teachers here at Northridge have seen years of boys. They're comforting. They share their knowledge and guidance and are willing to work with you. They're not judging. There's no looking at a boy and saying they're rambunctious. They've seen it all. It's nice to partner with a school that wants the best for your son and is on the same page. I truly feel if I have a question, concern, or issue, there's always someone ready to listen and suggest ways I can help him at home and how they can support him. Bottom line is this. You want your kid to grow up to be a gentleman, your young man to grow up to be a gentleman. You want him to be an intellectual assassin, you send him to Northridge Prep. They've got an open house right around the corner on April 7th. Don't miss it. Register online today at northridgeprep.org. That's northridgeprep.org.
Hey guys, Ken here from the award-winning podcast Today's Growth. If you had to choose sides, which camp would you rather be in? Would you rather have time and no money, or money and no time? Did you know that 95% of U.S. adults by choice have settled into these categories? Much more interesting is that 1 out of 20 people have built their life around achieving simultaneous control of both time and money. What choices did these 5% make that the others didn't? My friends at Income Store have shown both households and businesses how to build second, third, and even fourth revenue streams for the express purpose of gaining control of time. When it comes to helping folks create their next revenue model, both Forbes and Inc. recommend Income Store as a can't miss. Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that doesn't solely depend on you? If so, you need to check out IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
Hey, do you want your basement to be dry most of the time? If so, Permaseal is not the company for you. Permaseal hears story after story of homeowners who say, well, it only leaks, my basement leaks when it rains. Well, you don't want your living room or bedroom getting wet, do you? Then why would you settle for a wet basement? For over 40 years, the Permaseal team believes your basement should be dry no matter how hard it rains. That's right, you can have a permanently dry basement. Just give them a call at 800-421-SEAL. They offer a free estimate, no haggle pricing, and a price assurance guarantee, so you can rest assured that you're getting the best value. You know, Roy Spencer started Permaseal back in 1979, and it's still a local Chicagoland family business doing the right thing and standing behind their work. Your basement is already dry most of the time, but what if you want your basement dry all of the time? If you do, then you know who to call. Call Permaseal at 800-421-SEAL. That's 800-421-7325, or go to permaseal.net.
This is Dr. Howard, founder and formulator of Balance of Nature. We're changing America one life at a time.
I drive Lyft, and every once in a while I just mention this, and I say, you know, I can only speak for me. I can't say how it's going to make somebody else feel, but for me, this has been the single biggest change for me for anything that I've taken. I've tried, you know, smoothie diets and all kinds of stuff, but this really seems to work.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself by using discount code CHICAGO. The price of fruits and vegetables is going up. Call now to see how you can lock in your price of fruits and vegetables for an entire year and get free shipping on every order. Call 800-246-8751. That's 800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
All right, cinch it up and hunker down. We've got Fox News contributor Juan Williams joining us to defend the indefensible. That's at 8:08.
And later, why the female spacewalk was canceled. But first, let's get into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
A man arrested for a fatal stabbing at Harrah's Casino Hotel in Joliet. A murdered DeKalb County prosecutor filed orders of protection. We'll tell you why. Packers and Bears will open up the 2019 NFL season, and the Blackhawks hit the road to take on the Coyotes in Arizona. Sunny and chilly, a high of 44 today. WIND Chicago News Time, 8 o'clock.
It's not a wall, it's an 18-foot high fence. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, and President Trump is getting the money to fund it in support of the national emergency, he declared. Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
The Pentagon has transferred up to $1 billion in military personnel funding in order to construct President Trump's southern border wall. Patrick Shanahan, the acting defense secretary, authorized the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to begin planning and building 57 miles of fencing along the southern border, as well as improving roads in Yuma, Arizona, and El Paso, Texas. A group of Democratic senators led by Patrick Leahy of Vermont and Dick Durbin of Illinois, in a letter sent to the Pentagon, said they strongly objected to the transfer of funds, which they described as a violation of congressional appropriations. Dave?
John Shanahan will be asked about that fence at a House hearing next hour. Also at the House, a vote today to override the president's veto, expected to fall short. He blocked Congress's attempt to block his emergency declaration. Democrats are demanding Attorney General Barr make the Mueller report public by a week from today.
He has now done the job he applied for, which is attempt to exonerate Mr. Trump when Mr. Mueller said no exoneration was in order.
Democrats like Congressman Adam Schiff want to see the evidence of possible presidential obstruction of justice the special counsel considered. Now, Schiff also still believes there was collusion, though Mueller's report found there was no Trump campaign conspiracy or coordination with Russia. Israelis and Palestinians shot at each other all night. Warplanes bombing targets in Gaza as rockets were fired toward Israel.
We did see Israel's missile defense system at the Iron Dome intercepting many of those rockets.
Fox's Trey Yingst on the Israel-Gaza border.
The Israeli military is preparing for the potential of a ground operation. You can see a number of tanks and also armored vehicles. They have staged very close to the border.
This the day after a Palestinian rocket destroyed an Israeli house, injuring 7 people. This is Fox News.
Skies are fair, and in Chicago we have sunshine and 26 degrees. At 8:02 on AM 560, The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Chicago Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson says the murder of Officer John Rivera could be treated as a hate crime. He says the alleged gunman, Menelik Jackson, had reportedly been fighting with a group of Hispanic men on a party bus before the shooting.
He was searching around for the party bus. The party bus had left the area, so I guess he settled for the first Hispanic he saw.
Authorities say the weekend shooting did not happen because Rivera was a policeman. He was off duty. A 10-year-old boy who was shot in Harvey over the weekend has died. Ezra Hill was shot twice Saturday afternoon while sitting in a vehicle with his father. The Sun-Times says Hill was pronounced brain dead at Christ Medical Center in Oak Lawn yesterday afternoon. A man is under arrest after a fatal stabbing in Joliet. Robert Watson of Chicago being held on murder charges connected to the stabbing of Emmanuel Bergrino of Hales Corners, Wisconsin, at the Harrah's Casino. Joliet officials say authorities are still working to determine what led to that attack. The Bears will celebrate the NFL's 100th season when they kick off the 2019 campaign with a Thursday night game against the Packers at Soldier Field. Chicago sports, another playoff critical matchup for the Blackhawks. They travel to Arizona to battle the Coyotes tonight. Bulls will take on the Raptors in Toronto. White Sox beat the Diamondbacks 6-3. Cubs over the Red Sox 3-2. 8:03 time for the AM 560 Business Beat. And from the Fox Business Network, here's Ginny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, McDonald's is buying an Israeli tech startup that it believes will make it easier for you to order in the store and online. It's paying more than $300 million for dynamic yield. Apple shares are recovering after investors are taking a closer look at its new TV service, credit card, and digital publishing service. Apple's charging up to $9.99 a month for what The Verge says will be selected Wall Street Journal articles and other news. Tech analyst Ian Wishengrad believes it'll pick up a lot of subscribers.
Everyone's saying, you know what, we'll sign up for a year, we'll see how it works, because you don't want to be left behind when Apple decides to make a decision.
WeWork, the office rental space business, says it now has 400,000 clients in 100 cities, but it lost $2 billion in the recent quarter because it was spending on its business. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Jenny Cosola.
8:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Larry Elder just wants the media to be honest.
His fellow Republicans to think seriously about the president's mental condition and psychological state.
This is news. Some are saying the president's mental stability is in question. Some who? You wonder why people think it's fake news? Because it is. Some people are questioning the president's mental stability. Who? Name names.
The Larry Elder Show. Weeknights at 7, right before Jay Sekulow at 9 on AM 560. The Answer.
Varicose and spider veins. Wow, what a gift from my mom. She had them, I got them, and not only are they uncomfortable and sometimes painful, but I stopped wearing skirts and shorts because I was embarrassed and I really hated the way my legs looked. When my kids asked me, "What are those things on your legs?" I was done. I finally went to Vein Clinics of America. The procedure took about an hour and I was right back to work. What they're doing with lasers these days is unbelievable. The staff made me feel so comfortable, and the results, well, even my husband has noticed. Vein Clinics of America has been treating vein disease for over 35 years. They're the largest and most experienced in the U.S. Look, I've been doing the commercials for Vein Clinics for years because I really believe in them, and you can trust them too. The best part, my insurance covered the procedure, so stop hiding your legs. Call Vein Clinics of America now to see if you qualify for a free consultation. Call 800-375-8900, 800-375-8900. That's 800-375-8900.
The average smoker tries to quit up to 30 times, and many are looking for an alternative. Juul was designed by smokers, for smokers, to be a satisfying alternative to cigarettes. Juul is a vapor product that contains nicotine for a satisfying transition. If you're one of the 34 million adults who smoke, know that there is an alternative to cigarettes. Make the switch at Juul.com. That's JUUL.com. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Guardians of the Grass, run with us on a John Deere X300 Select Series lawn tractor built for versatility. Because when you take pride in your lawn, you do it all. You mulch, bag, haul, grow, mow, and a whole lot more. And that's why the X300 Series takes care of everything with attachments for all your spring and summer projects. Because you're not just doing yard work, you're creating common ground for the whole neighborhood to enjoy. Nothing runs like a Deere. Run with us. Search John Deere X300 for more.
8:07. Let's get an update on the roads. In the AM 560 Traffic Center, here is Jim Talamonte.
The tollways have some delays right now, including the northbound tri-state from the Stevenson to 47th, and from the Eisenhower to the Bensonville Bridge. Eastbound Adams Tollway has a brief slowdown from Beverly to Bartlett Road. Eastbound Reagan Tollway, it's slow going Farnsworth to Winfield and 83 to Roosevelt. Northbound Veterans Memorial, 63rd to the Reagan Tollway. Edens is 19 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, southbound 21 to Kennedy. 40 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, takes longer in the express lanes. Outbound 29 minutes to the airport. Inbound Eisenhower, 58 minutes, 390 to downtown, 44 from Manheim. Stevenson runs an hour, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. The Ryan, 34 minutes, 95 to downtown. I-57 Bishop Ford, both 20 minutes, 80 to the merge. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next, and your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center with our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
Today, mostly sunny, chilly, and a high near 44. It'll be clear tonight, low down to 30. Partly sunny, breezy tomorrow, high 55. Thursday, clouds and a shower. The daytime high Thursday, 60. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
The sun is out, warming up a bit at O'Hare, now 33, 36 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 8:30. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Don't forget that you can watch Chicago's Morning Answer on the Income Store live video stream every morning at 560theanswer.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. We're coming to you live from Tiege Hanley Product Systems in Chicago, part of our AM 560 Signature Bank Business Tour.
Yeah, if you want to buy any of the products, go to Tiege.com.
TIEGE.
Yep.
.com. Yeah, skincare products for men. We talked to the principal and founder, Kelly Thornton, at the bottom of the 7 o'clock hour.
And you're the new model for it now, so congratulations.
Well,
your little side hustle.
I thank you for noticing my radiance. I appreciate that. Maybe I'll tell you what. Last time we had Juan Williams on, it got a little contentious.
Yeah, you two cats got to get along.
Maybe
right?
I'll get him some Tiege Hanley product to sort of smooth things over, literally and figuratively, between us. Before we get to Juan, wanted to get on the record some of the most vociferous proponents of the Mueller investigation and the most aggressive prognosticators about the imminent political demise of President Trump. You know, like former CIA Director John Brennan, who agreed to appear with a fellow apocalyptic doomsayer in Joe Scarborough, Morning Joe, yesterday to commiserate. Here's what John Brennan had to say about the Barr letter summarizing the Mueller report.
How surprised were you by the findings yesterday, by the conclusions that were drawn? And I'm just curious, did you receive bad information throughout this process, like so many of us did, that there was more there than ended up in the report regarding collusion?
Well, I don't know if I received bad information, but I think I suspected that there was more than there actually was. And I am relieved that it's been determined that there was not a criminal conspiracy with the Russian government over our election. I think that is good news for the country. And I still point to things that were done publicly or efforts to try to have conversations with the Russians that were inappropriate. But I'm not all that surprised that the high bar of criminal conspiracy was not met. I am surprised at that second part of obstruction of justice in terms of how it came out. I don't know whether or not Bob Mueller wanted the Attorney General to pronounce on that issue, or whether or not Bob Mueller felt that it would be best for Congress and American people to determine whether the weight of the information indicates that Donald Trump did try to obstruct justice. So there are some surprises there, and that's why I think getting to the full Mueller report is the best way to get some of these, if not all of these questions answered.
No less than Terry Moran at ABC News took out after Brennan yesterday, suggesting that he has a lot to answer for, given the aggressive nature and substance of his predictions over the last 3 years, including that Trump and Putin were basically Bonnie and Clyde. I mean, Brennan had said that Trump was effectively acting as an agent of the Russian government. He called Trump's conduct treasonous.
Yeah, well,
previously.
he sounded very defeated and looked
He
defeated
did.
during that interview with Morning Joe yesterday.
He
and for
did.
good reason. He has egg on his face.
For more on this, we're pleased to be joined by the aforesaid Juan Williams, Fox News contributor, columnist for TheHill.com. Juan, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Good morning. So you're radiant then.
I am radiant. It's the skincare.
Amy, I hope you're radiant too.
I am. But Juan, do you use skincare products? Do you put on moisturizer?
Sure, of course. At my age, I'm going to have my 65th birthday next month.
All right,
I
happy
better
birthday.
use something. I mean, they have to use spackle when they make me up for TV, I tell you.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's nice. Like, Juan, like me, is comfortable enough in his own masculinity to appreciate being beautiful.
That's all right.
And I think that's great.
I don't know that I'm beautiful. You're beautiful. I
Well,
would like
thank you
to
so
be, but,
much.
you know.
Yeah, well, you do what you can with what you were given.
That's
I
all
get
you
it.
can do, brother. Yeah.
All right, so let's get into it here. Your reaction to not just the Barr summary of the Mueller report, but some of what you're hearing from the John Brennans and John Podestas of the world.
Well, I mean, I think that they're all kind of, tails tucked between their legs, because I think everyone expected at least that there would be some issue about obstruction of justice. Remember, the whole thing starts with the president firing Comey, and then the interview with Lester Holt of NBC, in which he says he did it because of Russia, and then, of course, rewriting the memo explaining why Don Jr. was meeting with the Russian lawyer at Trump Tower in the middle of the campaign. So I think people felt like, well, that looks like, something's going on here, but we don't know exactly how extensive. And it turned out that Mueller, as he said, he can't convict the president or indict the president or anything, but he's not exonerating him on obstruction. He's leaving that up to Bill Barr, the Attorney General. But I think on the bigger question, to my mind, which was the conspiracy issue, I think there were lots of people who bought into what Donald Trump was selling, which is witch hunt. Deep state is after him. This is a bunch of Democrats on Mueller's team. Mueller's friends with Comey. They're both former FBI directors. Why did Rod Rosenstein appoint this guy? Why is there a report being written? I think everybody, one, should be pleased that the President of the United States is not in a conspiracy with the Russians, thank God. But two, that there is no deep state action taking place. It was an impartial, fair report, and the ones who actually feel a little scorched the last few days of the Democrats, not the Republicans, if they have any questions about how this thing was done, and that's why they want to see the whole report.
Well, I mean, do you personally want to see the whole report? I know that, they're going to have to scrub
Of course.
some
Well,
of the
it's not
grand
just
jury
me. I think it's
testimony.
was it a unanimous vote, Amy, in the Congress?
Yeah,
unanimous.
yeah, everybody.
But I mean, there's certain things
And
about
I think
people
it's
that weren't charged
87% in the
criminally.
latest Fox poll.
Right, but there's certain things about people that weren't charged criminally that I really don't want to have people's dirty laundry aired. Do you?
Well, I don't want anything that would impugn someone's reputation unfairly, but at this point, given the magnitude of and importance of this report to our understanding of what took place, there has to be some clues. Let's not, get into all the nastiness, the Peter struck Lisa Page type innuendo because people were having an affair. I don't need that, but I do want to know exactly what Mueller found and why he decided that there was no conspiracy, because if you have on the record more than 100 contacts between Trump officials, campaign officials, and the Russians, if you have, top Trump campaign people linked to giving poll data to Ukrainians who are linked to the Russians, you think, well, exactly why did you do what you did, Mr. Mueller?
With respect to that, though, I mean, Barr's letter sort of indicates, look, I'm going to review the Mueller report, and I'm going to strike things I'm required by the federal rules of criminal procedure to strike, and sort of indicating the rest will be released. So the hysterics of the Eric Swalwells of the world that Trump should release it immediately, otherwise he's got something to hide, is preposterous. And let Barr do his job, and everybody's in agreement, including President Trump, that release whatever you want to release, Attorney General Barr.
Yeah, I think that's right. And so if you even have Trump saying he's comfortable with it, let's do it. Let's get it over with, because I think it's like the country's been through this trauma because it's upsetting and everybody is polarized and angry and, spitting fire at each other. Let's just get the report out there.
Well,
what about the media reckoning? Glenn Greenwald, who's no Trump supporter, Matt Taibbi, no Trump supporter. I think he wrote a book called The Insane Clown President. So not exactly a knee-jerk Trump defender. They both, over the last couple of days, have eviscerated the D.C. press corps. Glenn Greenwald saying yesterday on Democracy Now! This is the saddest media spectacle I've ever seen since I began practicing journalism in 2005. What's your assessment of the D.C. press corps' coverage of this over the last 2 years?
I think it's been pretty good. And here's why. I think that, I came up as a reporter before I became a pundit. And so my job, I always thought, was, to challenge people in power and try to get the truth on the table. The thing is, it's all incremental. It's, little cycles, what you get a break today and then you build on that tomorrow. And the idea that there might be, some connection between the Russians and our president is pretty unsettling. And I don't think there's any question, given the Mueller, what we know from Barr about the Mueller report, that the Russians interfered in the campaign They hacked into the Democrats' emails. They hacked into Hillary Clinton. All of that. They were online trying to divide us on the basis of race, on the basis of sexual orientation, everything else, gender, region. So the idea that somehow there might be something there, I think if I was a working reporter as opposed to a working commentator at the moment, I would be pretty aggressive about that story. Now, I think that people who got hysterical and who were making outlandish and unfounded claims, they should be shamed. But if you're talking about, people saying exactly what was the connection, what happened in the Trump Tower meeting, I don't have any problem with that. And I think that the media is such a convenient whipping boy for both sides at the moment. I think it's a little lunacy because I think we need to protect our reporters and our First Amendment rights in this.
Well, of course, protect First Amendment rights. But what about the D.C. press corps' inquisitive nature or lack thereof as it pertained to the statements that were being made by members of Congress, particularly after Democrats took the House in November? All this talk, Adam Schiff and Eric Swalwell repeating it yesterday, that we believe we've seen evidence of collusion, and yet no evidence was presented, even when you have Adam Schiff as chairman of the House Intel Committee. It seems like there was not a lot of scrutiny or pushback or inquiry about serious allegations, from treason to I've seen evidence of collusion to I know there's obstruction of justice, Jerry Nadler saying that, and not much in terms of digging by the press corps with respect to those assertions.
Well, the thing is, those assertions are coming from people who are elected officials. So, and in some cases, people who are on the Intelligence Committee, either in the Senate or in the House. So to my mind, you have to give them some credibility. It's on them. If Jerry Nadler makes an incorrect statement, we have it on the record, and he'll be called on it. But to my mind, the reporter should report that our elected officials are making these statements. That's how you know about it. It's how I know about it.
But no follow-up questions, though? You're not allowed to ask follow-up questions?
Of course you follow up, but, I mean, they put their credibility on the line. They're the ones who I think this morning feel like they've got egg on their face, right? Because here's Mueller, who we all, I think, left and right, give him a high level of credibility. By the way, not President Trump, who consistently attacked Mueller during this process.
Well, do you think
but
he
now
attacked
he
Mueller
says
or
Mueller
the process?
acted honorably. I'm sorry.
Do you think,
what'd you say, Amy?
did he attack Mueller personally, or I know he attacked the investigation, but what did he say personally about Robert Mueller?
Remember, he said that Mueller was friends with Comey. Mueller is a guy who he did business with and had, I forget, Mueller was a member of some golf course and Trump threw him out, or Mueller wanted to leave. I don't know what, but it got personal between. I mean, that's the level at which Donald Trump went after Robert Mueller. There's no reason for this report to be done. He went after Jeff Sessions, got him out of there, went after Rod Rosenstein, went after the FBI. I think he tried to undermine American institutions. I mean, that's why I say this morning, taking a little bit of a step back from the tribal warfare and the Democrats feeling absolutely burned because there was no conspiracy, you have to say America's institutions function properly. There was no deep state action. Trump, despite all the polarization, got a fair assessment, and it came out to his benefit.
With respect to Devin Nunes, going back to the House Intel Committee, do you have a different view of Devin Nunes than you had during this process? Maria Bartiromo suggesting, Fox Business, suggesting that Nunes saw truth, as did she, over the last 2 years and was criticized for it, ridiculed even, particularly when he issued that House Intel report from the Republican perspective. And it turns out that that report sort of syncs with the Mueller report, at least what we know of it.
No, it doesn't. I mean, clearly that he was operating as an agent of the White House in the Trump spin machine. This business about, I've got secret information, the Trump Tower was tapped by the Obama folks and all this, nothing like that is proven true.
The 4 buckets of classified information that he wanted declassified, and the suggestion that no one presented, and he had not seen any evidence of collusion, the overriding issue in this whole investigation, this whole saga, Devin Nunes was correct.
Correct. I'm missing you there. How is he correct? He's making outlandish allegations, trying to undermine the FBI, undermine the investigation, suggest that the previous administration had a political agenda, and you stop and say, well, what is this about? I mean, clearly there were contacts between the Trump campaign and the Russians. I don't think anybody's disputing that. The question is whether there was coordination that would amount to conspiracy or, in the language of Trump, collusion. Bob Mueller says that wasn't there, but nobody's arguing about the fact that there were extensive contacts and efforts by Russians who did interfere in the campaign to use the Trump campaign. Trump welcomed their efforts and stood on the stage of the Republican National Convention and invited the Russians to interfere more.
Oh,
Well, not
come on.
just give
come
up. I mean,
on.
opposition
Tongue in
research is
cheek,
part of
come
any
on.
campaign.
I mean, and
Opposition
also,
research is done by Americans, Amy.
Or-
When you get
or
Russians
MI6
involved or foreign nations, that's
really?
traitorous activity.
Former MI6 agent and Christopher Steele, who was working with the Russians to compile the Trump dossier, is that in dispute?
DNC.
He was working for an American company, Fusion GPS, and he's an American now.
Yeah, right. So if you have an American company, then it's okay to connect with the Russians to generate information to present a dossier that was full of uncorroborated allegations.
Let me
The
get this straight.
corroboration
You
or
think
lack
now
thereof
that
doesn't even
Christopher
matter.
Steele was working with the Russians?
Well, that's
Yeah,
the
that's the
reporting is that
dossier.
that he had Russian contacts in terms of calling
Yeah, no, he
together
wasn't
the
working with the
information.
Russians. He was spying on the Russians.
But that's okay
Well,
compared to
he was spying with the Russians, not collaborating with them.
At least that's my understanding. Pretty clear. But if you got something new for me, I'm glad to listen.
Well, I mean, the point is to say, the nature of both of these campaigns and all of the tentacles from the campaigns, whether it's talking about Christopher Steele and the dossier, or whether it's talking about the Uranium One deal that Hillary Clinton rubber stamped when she was Secretary of State. There's a lot of questions that can be asked of both sides, and they're legitimate to ask. But then when conclusions are drawn, do you either believe those conclusions or you spin a new conspiracy theory? And it seems that all the Democrats, including a lot of the presidential candidates, are spinning a new conspiracy theory or trying to move the goalposts and say, well, it's not going to be done until we see the Mueller report, or even more aggressive than that in the case of Maxine Waters and others.
Well, I don't think anyone's moving the goalposts. We all want to see. I think we all in this conversation said we all want to see the Mueller report.
No, I know, but they're not.
We don't want
they're
anybody
not
unfairly impugned, but we'd like to see as much as possible this report. We don't just want this Barr letter.
Well, I agreed, but I'm saying that, but they're not accepting. There's not an acceptance or an acknowledgement of what Mueller concluded. There's an effort to spin out of it. I mean, Joy Reid on MSNBC. I mean, I understand who I'm talking about here, but she feels the seeds of a cover-up here with respect to the Barr letter. I mean, it gets a little bit bizarre, and doesn't there need to be a little bit of a check or people calling out those sorts of statements as sort of without foundation or without any connection to the reality, on this planet?
Well, you know what? I think a lot of these commentators are provocateurs, man. They just say outrageous stuff, and they're always on the edge of some of the latest conspiracy theory. But we live in the age of Trump, and Trump says a lot of things that, one, aren't true, and two, are highly conspiratorial and provocative. So, I mean, this is the environment, unfortunately. From my perspective, I think a lot of this doesn't help us as a country. We lose sight of our common goals and our common lives and our, common love of the country. But you're right. There are commentators who say outrageous things. I just want to tell you, your president is at the front of the parade here.
Well, he's our president, but yes, and I agree that Trump says some outlandish things and things that aren't true, and I have disagreements with Trump. But the inability to get any quarter from so many on the left to the truth is disconcerting, to say the least. That's
don't you think that people have been very respectful of Mueller, even if they have questions about Barr?
Oh, yeah.
Generally, yeah.
There's even, he's a folk hero for some, or at least he was before.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got my set.
I think he still is. I think that
I've got some.
I haven't heard people question him in the way they question Barr. So that's why I said that.
Well, right, because Barr is a Trump nominee, and that's why they're not questioning Mueller the same way they're questioning Barr, even though there's no basis for a lot of the assertions with respect to Barr. And ironically, he and Mueller are 30-year friends.
Barr's going to be on Capitol Hill on April 9th for a Department of Justice budget hearing, where I'm sure they're not going to be asking about the budget. They're going to be asking about this. So that'll be a fun hearing to watch.
You're right on that one.
All right, he is Juan Williams, Fox News contributor and columnist for TheHill.com. Juan, thanks as always. always for joining us, and keep
Amy, have a
keep
great
working
day.
on skincare. Yeah,
Yes,
thank you.
Touche.com. Okay. Thanks, Juan. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer. Do you own or run a thriving business in the Chicagoland area? Have you overcome obstacles to make your business what it is today? If that's your business, then AM 560 wants to tell your story on the AM 560 Business Tour, presented by Signature Bank. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson will be broadcasting live from businesses all around Chicagoland, telling success stories of thriving, successful businesses. Hey, if that's you, tell us about it. Visit 560theanswer.com/business and submit your information. That's 560theanswer.com/business.
Spring is in the air, but if you've got school-age kids, you should already be thinking about back-to-school season this fall, and you should consider sending your child to a private school at half the regular cost, thanks to halfpriceschools.com. At halfpriceschools.com, you can find local private schools from all over Chicagoland that are offering vouchers for a full year of tuition at half the price with no catch. Find a school near you, purchase the tuition voucher, and prepare to send your child off to school this fall. It's that simple. Halfpriceschools.com has schools located across Chicagoland, including Westminster Christian in Elgin, Kingswood Academy in Darien, Calvin Christian in South Holland, Covenant Christian in Aurora, Lake County Baptist in Waukegan, and Faith Evangelical Lutheran in Antioch. Make private school affordable for your family for the first time this year. These vouchers will sell out. Visit halfpriceschools.com today. That's halfpriceschools.com.
On April 5th, don't miss The Best of Enemies, starring Academy Award nominee Taraji P. Henson.
I play Ann Atwater, a civil rights activist who was able to approach hate with love.
And Academy Award winner Sam Rockwell.
All the better is you don't get in my way.
Well, I'm gonna get in your way.
If you change one heart, you can change the world.
I have a revival.
And then you ought to know, same God made you, made me.
The Best of Enemies, based on the untold true story. Rated PG-13. May be inappropriate for children under 13. In theaters April 5th.
AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Does the rise of AOC and the socialists have establishment Democrats tracing their veins? The answer is yes, and we'll talk to one of them, Ted Van Dyke, at 8:38.
And Duke University's fake science will explain. But first, into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
Blue skies, sunshine. At 8:31, we have 33 degrees. President Trump taking a shot at the media this morning after he was cleared of collusion and wrongdoing in the Russia Mueller probe. On Twitter today, the president saying the mainstream media is under fire and under scorn across the world. The Justice Department is agreeing with a district court ruling against the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare. In December, a U.S. District Judge, Reed O'Connor, ruled the individual mandate portion of the Affordable Care Act unconstitutional, voiding the entire law, making it invalid. DOJ's determination found the court's judgment be affirmed, and it's a major win for the Trump administration. Nissan's new Altima is the most stolen new car on the market. A study by DrivingTest.org ranks the Honda Civic, however, the absolute all-time favorite among car thieves. Thieves make off with more than 45,000 Civics each year, just a little bit more than the Honda Accord. A federal judge has ordered the arrest of two allies of Illinois House Speaker Mike Madigan for failing to appear for depositions in a lawsuit filed by Madigan's opponent in the 2016 election. Joseph Nasella and Michael Kuba were subpoenaed by Jason Gonzalez, who ran against Madigan. Gonzalez claims the speaker's team stacked the ballot with phony candidates with Latino-sounding last names, confusing voters. Gonzalez's lawyers allege Nasella and Kuba were paid with funds Madigan controls to circulate petitions for the sham candidates, and the two were no-shows for depositions to be taken last year. The federal judge found them in contempt after they failed to appear in court to explain why. Chicago sports, the Blackhawks travel to Arizona tonight to battle the Coyotes in a playoff-critical matchup. Bulls and Toronto on the schedule. Sox defeat the Diamondbacks, while the Cubs beat Boston 3-2 at Sloan Park. The news service of Staples. Trust the pros at Staples to print whatever your business needs, like color presentations, brochures, and banners. And right now, Earn 20% back in rewards on your color printing. N6/22/19, in-store only. Exclusions apply. See staples.com/20back for details. Staples. 8:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
It's so nice now that the kids are asleep.
Cheers.
We got the kids, our house, a stable income.
Checking off all the boxes.
But there's one box we haven't checked off.
Well, what's that?
Life insurance.
We don't need to think about that now. We're young.
That's why now is the best time. Life insurance gets more expensive the older you get.
But I don't have time to do a blood test. It's such a hassle to meet with someone just to get a quote.
Not with Ethos.
Ethos?
It's a modern kind of life insurance. You just answer 4 quick questions at getethos.com and get a free instant quote. No pushy salespeople. And no medical exams required for policies covering under $1 million. You can apply online in just 10 minutes.
10 minutes? Let's do it.
But then what will we do for the rest of the night?
I'm sure we can think of something.
Get your free instant quote and submit your complete application in minutes. Just go to getethos.com. That's ETHOS. Getethos.com. Getethos.com.
Oh, I'm excited to tell you about a deal on the already modestly priced MyPillow Giza Dream Bed Sheets. Oh, they use the world's best cotton called Giza, grown only near the Mediterranean and Nile River. It's ultra soft, breathable, extremely durable. It includes full 21-inch wide pillowcases that fit any pillow and those deep pocket sheets that fit any mattress. And once you sleep on them, you won't want to sleep on anything else. They are the real deal, folks. They look good. They feel good. They're much cheaper than Egyptian 800 thread cotton, and they're better than those Egyptian cottons. So to get the Giza sheet, 30% off and free shipping offer, just go to mypillow.com, type Amy, A-M-Y, and that promo code, mypillow.com, promo code Amy for 30% off that and pet beds and everything else, plus free shipping, mypillow.com, promo code Amy.
As a business owner, you have hundreds of decisions to make on a daily basis. It's beyond needing to pay bills, keeping employees happy, or what the next step is to grow your business. Part of your stress can be making sure you're protected in a time of crisis. Can you trust that your insurance provider is going to be there when you need them most? When you're looking for a partner who's there for you in your most desperate times, call Insure with Us. You won't have to wait on hold to talk to an agent who's unfamiliar with your policy. Speak directly to who wrote your policy when you have any urgent question or need. Don't hesitate. Get it done today. Get a free quote in less than 24 hours at lowcostinsurance.biz. Choose from dozens of top insurers across the U.S. Insure with Us focuses on finding you the best coverage for your business and for your family. Visit them today at lowcostinsurance.biz. Insure with Us. Coverage for the things that matter most.
It is 8:36. Let's check the roads in the AM 560 Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Inbound Kennedy, delays are from Montrose to the Burn Circle. It's 42 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 32 from Montrose, 35 on the express lanes. Outbound 29 minutes downtown to O'Hare. The Edens is fine now. The eastbound spur has heavy traffic. Toll Plaza to Waukegan Road. Inbound Eisenhower, 55 minutes, 390 to downtown, 36 from Manheim. Outbound 36 minutes to 390. Stevenson is 56 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 38. Ryan is 38 minutes, 95 to downtown. I-57, 17 minutes, 90 to the merge. Bishop 425. Northbound Tri-State, it's heavy from the Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis. Crash to the 2 right lanes. And Ogden to 31st, and from the Ike to North Avenue. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Sunny, bit on the chilly side. High near 44, clear and 30 degrees overnight. Currently, we have blue skies and sunshine in Chicago, 33 at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Alpha Wealth Group, bringing the trilogy of estate, tax, and investment planning together. Visit alphawealthgroup.com for a free report.
When you've got questions, he always has an answer. It's Sean Hannity, this afternoon at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Damon. We're coming to you live from Tiege Hanley, Hanley Product Systems, skincare.
Best skincare in the world.
TIEGE.com for men.
Tiege.com. Oh.
Yeah, for men.
Well, you know what, though? I'm actually going to get some for Peyton because, well, I'm sure he doesn't want Mom to talk about this, but, you know, they're teenage boys and they're getting acne.
Gross.
So.
Mom, you're embarrassing me.
So let's tackle that now and get Tiege. Go to TiegeAgain.com and get the acne kit, too, that they have for prepubescent and teenage boys. You remember what that was like, Dan?
Or if you're a gentleman of a certain age and you want to maintain your youthful exuberance and radiance, then yeah, so that's me. All right, this is part of our AM 560 Signature Bank Business Tour, of course. And question in the wake of the Mueller report is who is going to be controlling Mueller report release bar summary? Who is going to be controlling the destiny of the Democrat Party in 2020? And part of this has been playing out on the national stage with the presidential candidates, and with everybody, waiting for Biden, like waiting for Godot. Is there going to be an establishment candidate, a more moderate candidate, or is it going to be full-blown socialism with a Bernie Sanders type? Well, now you have a divide within the divide, and that is over whether or not to continue pursuing investigations into Trump for the purposes of impeachment. Seems more difficult, but there is certainly appetite for it, as we've heard from California Rep. Eric Swalwell, former prosecutor. He's a candidate for president, or at least he says so.
And
Jerry Nadler, you've heard from. You've heard from Maxine Waters. You've heard from presidential candidates, too, not just about release the Mueller report, sort of the pat position for now, but the idea that the investigation should continue, the pressure on Trump, legal pressure on Trump, investigative pressure on Trump should continue, and some don't want it to.
Well, yeah, and the one who does want it is your girl, Kamala Harris, who you think is going to go drive through the middle lane and get the nomination. Here she is. I'm playing Kamala Harris. Well, she basically was at a rally yesterday and wanted
that report needs to be made public. Yes. The American people have a right and a need to know. The underlying evidence that supports that report should be made public. Yes. The Attorney General Barr should be called to testify under oath before the United States Congress. Absolutely. And the White House should not be allowed to interfere in any way in interpreting or presenting the information to the American people.
Okay, so that's the pat answer everybody's giving.
Yeah.
Full stop.
Well, Elizabeth Warren said that no one has an appetite for Mueller report because she went through New Hampshire and not one person cared about it.
Well, there's real concern among the old guard of the Democratic Party, most notably this week expressed by Ed Rendell, the former governor of Pennsylvania and head of the DNC, about AOC.
I think all of a sudden the 2020 election went from a slam dunk for Democrats to something where we're going to have trouble beating this guy because he's going to make democratic socialism swing to the left, which I don't think is real, but he's going to make it into the issue. AOC does not speak for the Democratic Party.
I don't know. AOC says she's the boss, so there seems to be a disagreement on that. For more on this topic, we're pleased to be joined by Ted Van Dyke. He's a former intelligence analyst at the Pentagon, policymaker for both the LBJ and Jimmy Carter administrations. His book, Heroes, Hacks, and Fools, Memoirs from the Political Inside, and he recently wrote a piece in the Wall Street Journal that sort of echoes what Ed Rendell was saying, entitled Democrats May Blow It in 2020. Ted, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Sure, my pleasure.
So what Rendell said about AOC, is that essentially your posture? But even if it is, it's not AOC that's the problem exactly, because she's not running for president. You have a lot of presidential candidates that are echoing what she's saying.
Yeah, I think things will level out a little bit. The aftermath of the Mueller report, although there's a after noise about it and calling for full release, which may or may not happen, but that will simmer down in time. I think we've got to talk about two Democratic parties. First is the Congressional Party, and the release of the Mueller report pretty much closed out any opportunity for impeachment. And Nancy Pelosi, the House Speaker, has been very careful in trying to hold back impeachment because, unnoticed by many people, although Ocasio-Cortez and others get a lot of media attention, there are a lot of moderate Democrats who got elected in the last election who were filling in the seats that were lost by Democrats back in 2010. So the Democratic majority really now depends on these moderate Democrats from swing districts. They don't want impeachment. They don't want constant attacks on Trump. They just want to get on with the public business and also to help themselves get reelected. So that's the Congressional Party. The Presidential Party always is dominated at the outset by people who are appealing to the activists and most strongly feeling people who organize and go out to the polls. But that will level out too, and we'll just have to wait, frankly, perhaps almost a year until the debates sort out who the finalists are going to be. We'll probably end up with, after New Hampshire next year, maybe 3 or 4 Democrats at most in the field. One centrist, somebody on the left, somebody else. It's hard to tell until these things really break out. Who would have forecast, for instance, that President Trump would emerge from the Republican debates 4 years ago? So we'll have to wait it out. But I think in the end, Democrats will benefit if we have somebody who is moderate, temperate, somebody the opposite of Trump, rather than somebody who is feverish and appealing only to the true believers in the party.
Yeah, but would that person be electable? Because there's a growing number of progressives and socialists out there.
There are, but they're still relatively small in proportion to the general electorate. The history of presidential races is that when there's a president who's perceived as needing replacement, the votes usually go to somebody in the other party who's exactly the opposite, and that goes all the way back to 1932. Well, if you take somebody who's the opposite of President Trump, it's somebody who's experienced in policy, temperate, trustworthy, not impulsive. So that would be somebody who's likely to emerge at the end of the presidential race a winner. If you get a carbon copy of Trump, less so.
Well, who are the centrist options for Democrats exactly?
Well, right now there are a couple that loom. Joe Biden, if he gets in, although he has some problems with progressives and liberals in the party, whether or not he gets in, I think Amy Klobuchar, who is more progressive but also fits the moderate, temperate, experienced criteria, she would be a very strong candidate. Others have yet to define themselves fully. I think some of them, for instance, you mentioned Kamala Harris. Well, she proposed yesterday a huge multi-billion-dollar spending program across the board, increases for teachers. That would get support from the teachers union, but it's likely to scare off taxpayers. So we're just going to have to measure these people one by one as they go through the process and winnow down to a manageable 3 or 4.
And what about the centerpiece, sort of the organizing principle from a policy perspective, or that manifests itself in policy for the Democrats in 2020? Is it going to be the Green New Deal?
No, it won't be. The Green New Deal is, regrettably, it's well intended, but it's impossible technologically and economically. It would be frightfully expensive and contains all kinds of things that have nothing to do with a transition from fossil fuels. I think there are always 2 big issues in a presidential election. First is national security. The second is the state of the economy. So in the end, voters always are looking for somebody who can keep peace, and secondly, keep prosperity. And that's where Democrats really have to get on with some attractive, credible proposals rather than going around the edges with proposals that may be more interesting to interest groups.
Do you think Democrats beat Trump on personality or policy? What's it going to be?
Some of both. I would not, rather than personality, I'd say character. In other words, after Trump, voters will not be looking for a wheeler dealer, financial business operator. They're looking for somebody who's steady and stable. So that's character, really, rather than personality. And then we also have to have a credible policy. You can't run without a platform. And right now, we don't have a coherent platform which you could describe. The Green New Deal is certainly not it. So, but I think that will evolve also in debate among the candidates for the nomination.
So when do you think Biden's going to officially, make his big announcement? And who do you think would be his ideal running mate?
the longer he delays, the less likely it is that he runs. I think he's got some problems, some residual family problems, a couple of things that have come up recently about his relationship with the pro-Russian faction in Ukraine, things dating back to Supreme Court nominations, things he said and did in the 70s that are no longer acceptable to a lot of people in the party. So he may be thinking about these things and weighing them, and at his age, it may look less and less attractive. We'll see. I'd say still 60-40 he gets in. But he and Bernie Sanders, of course, lead in all the polls, and that's based on nothing but name identification at this point.
Yeah, speaking of Bernie Sanders, where is your party these days, and how at home do you still feel in it, given your history in the party? I mean, Bernie Sanders, you could argue, minus the superdelegates, Bernie Sanders beats Hillary Clinton 4 years ago. He certainly comes very close, as he did.
Yes, he could have. Had he seen his opportunity, he would have beaten her. Yes.
And so now, fast forward 3 years, going into 2020, and who is ascendant in the party as sort of the high-profile? I don't want to say intellectual leaders because that would be a bastardization of the term intellectual, but Ocasio-Cortez, Tlaib, Omar, Pelosi, yes, but
they are way off in the I'd say on the extreme 5% wing of the party. They get a lot of media attention, but if you get down to what their real base is in the electorate, it's very small.
Yeah, but you think, but what about within the party? You think they only represent 5% of the party?
In the end, probably, yeah.
Really? So you're still comfortable? You think sort of the kind
There'll
of
be somebody from moderate left to center who will probably be eventually nominated.
Oh.
And if it's not
Remember,
Biden,
at this early stage, the people who are most visible and most active in the organizing process are the people on the left side of the party. In my piece, I made the point that, and I was the policy director for the McGovern campaign in 1972, so that's what I know pretty well.
How'd that go? No, I'm just kidding.
That candidates like McGovern and first it's Goldwater on the Republican side make a mistake if they think the general electorate is like the activist electorate. If you continue to run in the general election as you begin in the primaries, you're probably doomed if you're relying on those fringes. You really got to come right down the middle of the street, and either to the left or right-hand side of the line, depending, because that's where the American people are always.
all right, he is Ted Van Dyke. He is, as you heard, longtime Democrat Party activist, former intelligence analyst at the Pentagon, policymaker for LBJ, Jimmy Carter. His book, Heroes, Hacks, and Fools, Memoirs from the Political Inside, and check out that Wall Street Journal piece I referenced, Democrats May Blow It in 2020. Ted, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Yes, my pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
We've all been there, looking for a parking spot when it's freezing and icy outside. The icy pavement of this pothole-filled parking lot is a nightmare. Oh, there's a spot. Wait, oh no, you're sliding. Watch out for that pothole. Your tire just blew out. The kids are crying and you're never coming back here again. Business owners and property managers, avoid frustrating your customers with a less than perfect parking lot. Pavement Solutions can offer you a safer and longer lasting pothole repair with permanent cold mix asphalt. It's an immediate solution and 90% of potholes patched will never need to be repaired again. Call Pavement Solutions today and learn how they can fix your lot in a day without closing it. In fact, as customers drive over the patch, it gets stronger. Don't put your customers or your business at risk with annoying potholes. Give your customers the experience they deserve. Call Pavement Solutions for a free quote. 815-675-0696. 815-675-0696.
All right, so we're broadcasting from Tiege Hanley today. We spoke with the founder and CEO, Kelly Thornton, at the bottom of the 7 o'clock hour, and he said, look, make it real simple when it comes to men's skincare, all right? Men don't want to shop. You don't have to go out anywhere. You order Tiege Hanley products online, number one. Number two, make it part of your routine. That's what guys need to do. You make it part of your routine or you just don't do it. It's like going to the gym. Make it part of your routine, taking care of your skin, your face. And three, don't use the same bar of soap you use on your hindside for your face. That seems like pretty straightforward, don't you think, Amy? Yeah. Yeah, you want to, right. Is that what you tell Peyton and Eli?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
All right, so it's that simple. And the other thing about Tiege Hanley, it's affordable and effective. You get all the products you need for your daily skincare regimen shipped directly to your door through their subscription service, no hidden fees or inflated costs. Online review, 4.6 score out of 5, more than 2,200 reviews. You have 3 skincare systems to choose from, which each include the wash, scrub, and moisturizers with SPF 20. Very serious about melanoma prevention. And you can even up your routine to include eye cream and super serum, both for fighting the signs of aging. I'm using their products right now and enjoying them, and I'm fighting the signs of aging, which I need to do vigorously. Right now, go to Tiege.com/DanProft. That's me. Use the promo code DAN20, Dan, the number 20. Check out for 20% off your first box. That's Tiege, TIGE.com/DanProft, and use the promo code DAN20.
Not sure where to go for wealth management advice and direction? It can be tough to find the right financial planner. Whether you're close to retirement or a millennial, you need to think about your financial future now. Sam Macaluso & Associates are ready to help you with your tax strategies, wealth management, and retirement planning. From college planning as well as business succession plans and tax strategies that deal with the new Tax Act, you'll get reliable and individualized service to address your challenges. As an accounting firm, Sam and his team's main goal is to help you preserve the wealth you've already built with efficient solutions to your accounting and financial planning. From tax preparation to planning and setting up accounts for retirement, the team will always take you through the entire process and help you make well-informed decisions. Schedule an appointment today with Sam Macaluso & Associates in Countryside to prepare for the April tax deadlines. Go to sammacalusoandassociates.com. That's sammacalusoandassociates.com. Don't wait. Start planning today.
Oh, spring has arrived, and so have those nasty allergies. And a way to try and keep yourself healthy this spring is to boost your immune system. And a great way to do that is by taking Balance of Nature. 10 servings of fruits and veggies in a single capsule. There's no dyes or preservatives. And we all know how important it is getting your daily dose of fruits and vegetables. It's especially important when it comes to staying healthy this spring. Don't wait until you start feeling sick to take Balance of Nature. Start taking it now, just like I'm doing. And I met Dr. Douglas Howard. He's the founder and creator of Balance of Nature. Showed me the emails, played the voicemails from real people who are taking Balance of Nature and feeling the benefits. And that can be you too. And today only, when you go to balanceofnature.com, use promo code AMYJ2, all one word, AMYJ, the number 2, and get 10% off your first preferred order of Balance of Nature. Again, promo code AMYJ2, all one word, when you visit balanceofnature.com, or call 800-246-8751.
This is Dr. Howard, founder and formulator of Balance of Nature. We're changing America one life at a time.
I was having a lot of pain.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Jim Keene Jr. of the Mail House, Inc., a family-owned and operated digital print mail house with a specialty in political advertising and a customer of Signature Bank. We knew that getting a loan to buy our business wouldn't be easy, so we turned to one of our trusted friends for a referral. She told us about the outstanding level of customer service her business received at Signature Bank since becoming one of their first customers in 2006. Today, we couldn't be happier. Not only did Signature help us finance the purchase of the mail house, but they supported our growth as we modernized our operations in mailing as well as from traditional to digital printing. If you're looking for a great bank to grow your business, take a look at Signature Bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hi, this is Amy Jacobson. Spring is going to be here soon, and it's the perfect time to take notice of any paint issues. Call the professionals at CertaPro Painters right away to take care of your home. Our front porch and back porches were chipping and peeling, just an eyesore. But CertaPro Painters swooped in and made a huge difference. They also painted a majority of our rooms in our house, the quality, service, and attention to detail like no other paint company. You know, spring is the season of change. Time to change your wall color or exterior and transform your home with an updated new look. And if you want some help with colors, they've got you covered with in-home color consultation or online with a color visualizer. Don't put it off. Time to hire CertaPro Painters, your residential and commercial painting expert. Schedule a free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
AM 560, The Answer.
This interesting story. Ural Airlines. Have you ever been on?
You know what? I haven't. How's it spelled?
Like the Ural Mountains.
Okay.
Does that help or no?
Yeah, no.
Oh, okay. Traveler passing through Moscow airport to catch a flight on Ural Airlines claimed that he was more aerodynamic, I should say, and dynamic, while nude, and so he stripped off his clothes and attempted to board the flight to Crimea naked.
Oh, hello.
Born in 1981, made his way through security, clothed, but then, wanted to prepare for the flight.
Wait, he took off his clothes before boarding or
Before boarding, so he was more aerodynamic when he flies.
Oh, okay. Who was the lucky flight attendant who had to get him off the plane?
He said he flies with more agility when undressed, and agility is important for an enjoyable flight. Call it snake on a plane.
Oh, I see what you did there. Very funny. Thanks so much for making us part of your morning. Thanks to Justin Kosick, our technical producer. Of course, Quinn McCarthy, who's in charge of
our Hummel figurines.
Exactly. And David Miska, who's here, our on-site producer. And thanks again to Tiege.com. That's where you go for hosting us this morning. It is 9 a.m. right now, and time for Fox News.
We need to see the report.